All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's good. Welcome in to Baseball and Coffee. It is Wednesday, May 27th, 10:02 in the morning. Hope everybody's great out there. We'll get started today. Should be a standard day. Just look at some baseball, check out some players, see what's going on. Are you going to check out the pitching debut of Gage Jump? So I have a bone to pick with everybody, not you guys, but with the A's or MLB.com or somebody, because yesterday when I did Probables, I was trying to see if Gage Jump was starting yesterday or what, because I wanted to make a video on that, like I usually do when a guy debuts, especially a pitcher that we're excited about. And then he just goes ahead and pitches yesterday, and I had no awareness of that. So yeah, we'll definitely check him out. Unclear if I should make a video about that or not, or whether we should just watch him on the stream. So let me know what you think, Victoria, since you're probably the one that's most excited about A's and Giants stuff. But either way, I mean, we could do it. We'll definitely check him out. All right, what else we got here? I did see Spencer pitched well again yesterday. He wasn't on my initial list that I looked at, but perhaps Blue Jays put a hurting on somebody yesterday. I saw Miguel Rojas throwing 39-mile-an-hour eephus pitches yesterday. I wonder what the record for slowest strike ever thrown is in the big leagues. Got to be in the 30s. I don't think you could get it to the 20s. That would be interesting. Did AO ever come close to doing the crotch chop like Uribe did? No, I would never crotch chop the opponent with triple thrusting. Triple thrusting Uribe yesterday. It's a little too much for me. And apparently Pat Murphy, so we'll see. But I don't know. Uribe, the baseball gods are always watching. Don't forget that. It's all fun and games. It's all fun and games. First time back to the stream since spring training. I remember commenting that I've never been more confident in the Mets winning the East. Woof. Yeah, Zach, I picked the Mets to win the East too. Pretty confident that's not happening now. But, I was just alerted that they have the same record now as they had in 2024. So... well, we had in 2024. So, I mean, not that I think they have the same makeup as the team I was a part of, but it's not technically over yet, even though it looks pretty bad. And now you have Gary, Keith, and Ron talking a little bit negative last night, which you don't usually see too often. Anyway, what else we got here? Thoughts on Uribe? What's my thoughts on it? Yeah, it was over the top. And also just like, it's funny because it'll come around. He's a great pitcher. He's disgusting. He's nasty. But his celebrations, we were laughing about them in the DR. He's rolling the dice. He's shooting the gun. He's slapping the chest. But like the triple hip thrust at the other team in a 6-run game, just know the baseball gods are watching. That's all. Baseball gods, they don't forget. They don't like that stuff. Sure, make a video and use it for YouTube. Okay. Today was what they were hoping for, but Kike is going down is really bad. That made me sad. I saw him talking to the press last night. I didn't see exactly what happened, but that's a bummer. That's a bummer. On the contrary to Spencer Miles, why is Sandy Alcantara bad again? I guess I'd have to look into that. I haven't looked into Sandy in a while. He got off to a hot start this year. I thought he was in a good spot. Typically when Sandy struggles, it's just because he's got the issue where like everything is hard, but he doesn't have an outlier pitch necessarily within the hardness. Like Schlittler throws the same strategy, but the cutter is outlier. And I think that protects the other two pitches quite a bit, whereas Sandy's like bad four-seam, even though it's hard. Good sinker, good changeup, but they don't have that much movement variance. And neither does the slider really, and I think sometimes he just gets beat because guys are ready to swing for the most part. Hey, Adam, got anything on Shane Baz? I was thinking about watching him today because he pitched well yesterday, to your point here, Jack. And I'm curious to see what the adjustments have been. We haven't watched him all year. I was pretty down on him last year with the Rays. I see Lore Baby wants that. So maybe we'll start with Shane Baz today. How's that sound after we do the standings? Apparently it happened on Monday, but Kike sprained his oblique and thought he could play through it. I don't blame him for trying to play through it because he's been out a long time and he's wanted to feel good and he's excited to be back. And now he's hurt again. It's hard. This game is tough sometimes with the injury bug, for sure. Things like obliques. I mean, it sucks because like a small one, maybe you can play through, but it's going to catch up with you eventually. All right, I want to remind myself, Shane Baz, as we head over here to the main screen, and we'll hit the standings and see what the current situation is around baseball. All right, here we go. So, American League East, Tampa Bay maintains their 2.5 game lead on the Yankees. Does that sound right to you? Was it 3.5 before yesterday? No, this ain't right. I knew it wasn't. I knew something was off. Oh, I guess not. No, this is right. Okay. So they're up 2.5 on the Yankees. They've lost 3 in a row. They're playing Baltimore. Yankees have won 3 in a row. They're in Kansas City. They just have the Royals number. I think they've won like 11 in a row against the Royals. Red Sox have now dropped 4 in a row. Not looking great in Beantown lately. As for the teams in the middle, Toronto, I feel like, has played a little bit better, but they haven't hit that winning streak yet. I think if they can get just one burst, then they'll be right in the wild card, and then 2 big bursts, and they can get back into the division race. But they are pretty far back right now. I still believe in them, but they're not on all cylinders yet. Orioles, I believe in less, but we're gonna watch Boz, and maybe that'll help me believe a little more. I don't know. Cleveland in the Central, 3.5 up on the White Sox, which I love. That's so weird, Spec. Your message got held for review. It says on my thing. I don't know why. You didn't do anything wrong. Weird. Anyway, Cleveland 3.5 up on the White Sox, 4 up on the Twins. Bazana's been a great story so far for Cleveland. Pretty soon I'm do his video. I got to check how many plate appearances he's at, but he'd be a fun guy to take a gander at now that he's been in the league a little bit. Tigers, they lose again. They're 1-9 in their last 10. Really, in the last 20, it's been pretty rough. They're lucky to only be 10 back because that division's not great. The A's in the West, they're half game up on Seattle, 1.5 up on Texas. This division's really, I mean, Seattle's going to spin their tires all year and then still end up winning it. I know it. But, man, there's a bunch of flawed teams here. Texas can't really hit. Unfortunately, even though they have some names, I was thinking of watching Evan Carter. They had a good hitting game yesterday. I need to experiment. I need to look at him. I mean, he's literally was like a phenom in the World Series, and it's kind of been a weird journey since then. So I was thinking about Evan Carter a little bit. But anyway, I don't know what's going to happen in that West division. That's got a long way to go, I guess. All right, NL East Braves. They won last night. They're 103 plus run differential. They were playing the Red Sox. They're 37-18. They're 8.5 up on Washington. Another team, sneaky good offense. Washington. James Wood had a great game. He was on my mind. Mets lose their 5th in a row. So all of the goodwill that they kind of started to pick up with that Yankees series, sort of kind of gone back the other direction now. They're going to finish their series up versus the Reds, I believe, today, unless it's a 4-gamer. But they're 15 back now in the division, and it's a little bit of separation now between them and 4th place Miami. So that's crazy. All right, in the Central, Milwaukee and Abner Uribe's hip thrusts are 3.5 hip thrusts ahead of the Cardinals. And 4.5 up on the rest of the division. This is still tight. The Cubs are really crazy. They're 0-10 in their last 10. They have 2 10-game winning streaks and a 10-game losing streak inside of the first 2 months of the season. Congrats. I've never heard of anything like that. I don't know if you guys have either. Oh, Kike must have gotten flagged. Yeah. Okay, I get it. Didn't know what was going on before, but I got you. Okay. Yeah, so that division, it's just weird about the Cubs. I don't know. Pirates, though, have you seen the Pirates pitching lately? Ashcraft again. I'm probably not going to watch him today, but he shoved again yesterday. Between him, obviously Paul Skeens, obviously Mitch Keller. Dinsky's been pretty good. Jared Jones coming back. Pirates are in a decent spot. All right, West, Dodgers. They win 4 in a row. Mookie Betts is on my mind. He had a big day yesterday. 35-20. They're 15 over 500. Joe Torre always said once his team got 20 games over 500, that's when he felt like they were World Series quality. So they're already close. Rockies are in last. They've lost 4 in a row. They're playing the Dodgers. You know, this is how it goes. No Rocky season really begins until you're swept by the Dodgers in LA. So they're probably headed that direction now. Anyway, Shane Baz. Shane Baz is the one that we want to look at. So first I'm going to hit into the solo for a second just to see what you got here. I love Bazana. Yep, Bazana. We're going to have to make the video soon. The Orioles white guy generator have all just been underperforming lately. Lots of talent there, though. I believe they have a lot of talent. I'm not totally sold on the pitching yet. So let's do a little Orioles talk now. You know, Baltimore Orioles. We did have Zach Britton on yesterday, Mr. Baltimore Oriole himself. But let's just see as a team real quick where some of their guys at, and then we'll dive into Shane Baz. So team, just across the league, where are the Orioles ranking pitching and hitting? All right, you sort by WOBA, and we thought this was going to be a top team in the league offensively, and unfortunately for them, on the pitching side, this is the pitching side, this has been the big issue. 4th worst in WOBA this year. The only ahead of Cincinnati, which is crazy that they're playing with a decent record with that. Houston, who we know has been decimated by injuries, and then, of course, the Rockies. So that's not great. That's not great. And then on the batting side, this is what we thought would carry them. Unfortunately, they're more middle of the pack at 315 WOBA than top of the pack. So, you know, in order to overcome, you're going to have to if you overcome bad pitching, you're going to have to really hit. And they're kind of in the middle of the pack. Where are they in terms of barrels? Because I feel like they built their team around some pop a little bit, getting Pete in there. Not a good sign that they are way down here. Only 106 barrels, so they're not anywhere towards the top. Are they getting unlucky? Maybe a little bit on xWOBA. Yeah, they're getting shortchanged by a few ticks on xWOBA, but I'm not really buying it. And then they're getting dinged a little bit on their xWOBA with their pitching. So they're not performing up to their standards, but they're also a little bit unlucky. And then let's go look at their expected stats. Individual players. Here's their pitchers. Obviously, the GOAT, Rico Garcia. I think Samuel Basayo is going to be a dude, personally, too. I agree with you, Lord Baby. Rico, Grant Wolfram, Dietrich Enns, Tyler Wells. Those are all 4. Those are all the top 4 that have performed so well in terms of xWOBA individually. Although Grant Wolfram's not getting anything for it. But yeah, Bassett's been a little underwhelming. Suarez, Povich, Rogers, those numbers have all completely flipped around. So it's a little bit of a starting pitching issue. Bradish, you're asking a lot of Bradish right now and a lot of Baz. So I feel pretty good about taking a look at Mr. Shane Baz. Oop, didn't mean to click him. Meant to click Baz, who's got one of the worst mustaches ever because his hair's so light. So it's just a weird look. But anyway, huge prospect. Came over to the Rays initially in the Glasnow trade. He was part of that trade. We know about the arm. He's been up to 100 miles an hour. Tampa had him for a bit. They ended up flipping him in division. So they were out. They decided to be out. Last year was the cutter that got absolutely annihilated. So first thing we have to check is just straight up usage 1 year to the next. 2026, 34% four-seam, 33% curveball, 19% cutter. Last year, 44% fastball, 27% curveball, 15% cutter, 11% changeup. That's basically... So they took away some fastball and they added in some curveball and some cutter, which is the pitch I don't like. You know, you look at the standard movement here on his cutter, and it's all right into what you would expect. And Baz, I feel like, has a very normal arm angle, 37 degrees, which is extremely normal. And therefore, if everything is so normal, then your pitches aren't really weird in any way. You would have to have outlier velocity on everything, which he kind of doesn't anymore. Yes, he throws hard, 96.3. That's great. And yes, the curveball is a banger, But after that, it's like when you look at the guys who have the outlier speed cutters that don't have great shape, it's because they're like 94%. You know, they're like 94%. I mean, 94 miles an hour, 93, 94 miles an hour. If you're going to have a cutter with a bad shape, his is 89.6. That's why, to me, it's a little vulnerable. Doesn't throw a ton of changeups, but he's not getting a ton of drop. And then now he's mixing in some sinkers. I don't know if he did that last year or not, but I don't mind that. That's fine. Everybody's doing that. That makes sense. Anyway, his expected numbers were actually better last year than they are at this point this year. Let's check his game logs. Let's see what we've been looking like lately. He's started to get deeper into the game his last 3 starts. So he's starting to turn some sort of corner here. You know, he hasn't pitched great, but he hasn't been awful either. Like, it's not, I don't see any really short starts. He does have this one at 4 2/3. But anyway, last 3 starts have been quite good. Washington, we know we can swing at 7-3. Tampa Bay, 6-1, and then Tampa Bay again, 7-1 in this one. 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. So let's go over to his game from yesterday, and we'll break it down. We'll see what we see, since we really haven't experimented much with Boz. Just to get a good look at it. So 7 innings, 7 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, 99 pitches. Player breakdown. Jack started on the other side, only pitched 2 innings, which I thought was interesting. Anyway, 37 knuckle curves. To me, that's his best pitch. He should be leaning into that more. 36 four-seamers, 11 cutters, 9 changeups, 6 sinkers. Tampa Bay decided to stack mostly left-handed batters against him, which that's what they always do. Velocity was slightly down. Whiff rate was kind of, mid. First pitch strikes were awesome. 76% first pitch strikes and 58% zone rate. So he decided to come in, fill up the zone against a contact team that he should know pretty well, and throw a lot of his best pitch. Those are all probably usually pretty good ideas, I would say. All right, Baltimore and Tampa Bay. Shane Boz. Jack's exited with a back injury, got hit with a liner. His sinker is 96, and he's used it to get more grounders. I don't have a problem with the sinker. I like the sinker. Those 2 pitches are good. I love his curveball, but that's the main thing. All right, let's watch every pitch for a little bit here, and we'll just get a sense of Shane Boz in 2026. I mean, you couldn't have a more simple delivery. He's literally just staying tall, lifting until his knee gets to the peak of the point, and then he's just pointing his glove straight at the target and trying to throw and not trying to create much, but he's got natural velo and sequencing. So here's the cutter. I mean, I told you I don't like his cutter that much. And same issue here, and this is Chandler Simpson. You just can't miss in that location down in. So leadoff double from one of the fastest guys in the league, and then I mean, he does pitch well in this game. So let's see. Sinker to Caminero. I like that. Gets the ground ball he's looking for right to Gunner. That's just a perfect execution of what he wanted. I mean, it leaves it a little bit over the middle, but this is why you have sinkers, because you're going to get that pull side ground ball. And even when they hit it hard, 105.6, if the situation calls for it, I like it. Also, just looking at him, he's doing, check out the protection of the tipping here, with the glove tipped so that Simpson can't get any type of visual on that. And then right as he pitches, he goes ahead and straightens it out. So a couple things I noticed right there off the rip. Sinker rollover here is Aranda. 4-seam up ball. And another 4-seam coming here. And that's going to score the run. Just a predictable 1-0 fastball after falling behind. So first inning, it looks kind of like the same, although sinker was very useful to get Caminero out. So man on first, 1 run in. Yandy Diaz, probably a knuckle curve and right to the sinker, I would guess. Knuckle curve, strike 1. Oh, double up, knuckle curve. And now he's going to give up another hit. So this game started off just how Tampa would like it. 3 hits, they're putting the ball in play. First and third, needs a double play. Backdoor knuckle curve to Richie, and then another one. Does he get a double play here to get through this inning? Oh, he sure does. Snares it, gets it to Gunner, back to first, double play. No run score. So, okay, so turns to the knuckle curve as soon as he gets in trouble. We talked about it. To me, it's his best pitch. It combines good velocity and good shape. And he gets on top of that ball and threw it very well. So, okay. Second inning, and now he's going to probably be cooking the rest of the way. We noted that he had good first pitch strike percentage, so he should be dictating the at-bats from here on out. There's a 1-1 cutter that's going to get an out. Middle up. Not great shape on that, but Mullins is underneath it. Pops it up. I feel like Boz is perfect candidate for a hard ride cutter Schlittler style. Yeah, I mean, but you would think he would already be throwing his cutter harder if he could. Maybe there's a grip adjustment where he can get more on the seam and throw it a little harder. But I don't like that his cutter's 89-90 with not great shape. For me, there's a hit, by the way. For me, if you're going to have a not great shape, you need to have it at least huge velo, like Wheeler has or like Jack Leiter has. Schlittler has great shape and great velo. So, in theory, he could maybe get there because Boz threw so hard when he first came up. But honestly, he's been kind of going out there with this weak cutter shape for a couple of years now. His cutter has to be too gyro to have that shape correct. Yeah, it's too much gyro. In fact, the last one he threw had hardly any lift. It was basically a slider. So, yeah, they have to figure out a way to get him to backspin his cutter on a slightly tilted axis so that it gets that ride shape. Good question. All right, who's up here? Dunn. Mr. Dunn. Yeah, I think it is too much like a slider, and also, like, if it is a slider, you have to use it like a slider. Use it for chase, use it ball, strike ball, use it top shelf backdoor maybe, or backdoor for strikes, but you definitely don't try to, like, throw it for contact middle in like a cutter. That's just going to get bodied. Anyway, here's a really good fastball. This is 98-2. Dotted on the inside corner, and he gets the happy accident called strike 3 to end the second. All right, let's see how he gets his outs from here on out. First one is going to be a changeup here to Chandler Simpson. Pulls the string on that. That's the first changeup we've seen. He doesn't have also great changeup shape, but he does have pretty good separation, about 10 miles an hour. Does he do any slowing down? Kind of hard to tell. Not bad, I don't think. So an out on a changeup there. Here's a cutter to Caminero right down the middle, smoked into left. It's just not a surprise to me. And then you can see the shape. This is a slider shape. Only 4.8 vertical break. And only half an inch break, and it's not even to the left. This actually slightly backs up. This is just a gyro ball. That Junior's all over, and he hits the ball so hard. 117 off the bat. So he's hit a 105-mile-an-hour ground out and 117-mile-an-hour single. All right, knuckle curve to Aranda, strike one. Well, he played for him in the World Baseball Classic. And then there's the cutter down in. I mean, another just bad spot to throw that cutter. So I'm not seeing anything different right now. I know he ends up pitching well. I think the sinker is a great addition. That's probably what gets him out of jail a few times with some double plays. Here's a strikeout of Yandy with the curveball. Yes, great pitch there. I think that's by far his best pitch. Really good curveball there, and then he's going to get out of the inning with the strikeout. So he ends up going hard on the knuckle curves, gets them both below the zone, and ends up striking out both Yandy and Palacios to get himself out of this jam. And that was a very good job. All right, I see your comment here, Mitch. We'll go. We're going to go back to. We'll get a fastball for you. We will get a fastball for you. Wow, 4 knuckle curves in a row to Palacios. All right, here's a fastball. Timeout. He doesn't appear to have much trunk tilt and stays very upright in the finish. No? All right, let's see it. I don't like this one because it's not out of the windup. Let me get a leg kick. All right, here we go. So it's a very simple move. He has the front foot slightly cocked backward here, this toe, so that he can, load the hip, load this front hip a little bit coiled. So when it's opening up out of a closed position, then it's just a lift and a tall. It's basically a tall and fall. This is what you would call the tall and fall delivery. Staying tall as you can, falling into it, but he does have good hip shoulder separation. He doesn't really trunk tilt much. You're right, Mitch. He just sort of just comes straight through it. Very traditional. I do think that the glove side is a little weak, but it looks like he's just pretty damn good at sequencing his lower half. Very elite lower half mechanic, I would say. Yeah, it doesn't have very much trunk flexion. I don't really see anything like that. Let's look at him from the broadcast camera just like slowly here. I mean, a little bit. You look at the shoulder angle. I mean, there's a slight bit of tilt there, but it's not nearly as drastic as most guys that want to be over the top. And he wants to be a guy who's behind the four seam. So he's kind of splitting the difference. He's pretty much normal here. But it's crazy because I actually think that he's leaking a little energy with the glove hand, not helping him redirect forward as well as he could. But I don't know. This is a standard tall and fall, old school, keep it simple. I need to throw strikes delivery. Just try to get your hand in the slot, bring it straight through from what I'm seeing. So it's a little delivery analysis there. He really doesn't get into that back leg at all. Stays very straight on that planted leg. And, it's interesting. You look at Mason Miller. He doesn't get very deep on the leg either. Whereas, like, Mizorowski has more of a drop. I mean, it's there's no one way of doing it, but you got to put ground force in somehow. So he does it with this little bit of tall and fall. It's all like dead weight in the ground, and then he's able to kind of rotate really cleanly out of that and tight. But man, he throws it's easy 96, which in the old days would have been insanely impressive. Nowadays, it's just like, oh, could he throw 100? Even I'm thinking like that. All right, so he punched his way out of the third with some curveballs, and now he's on to the fourth. Here's a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Ooh, this one had better intent to Mullins for the looking strikeout. So let's watch a heater with better intent. See, he had good intent on this. This is what he looks like when he wants to throw it hard. A little bit more speed down the rubber and a little bit more finish. So he does come from the school of don't lower the boom until you are fully foot planted. So he's not trying to throw hard until right around now, and then he just goes ahead and whips it through. So, I mean, I think he has great timing in his delivery. One of the most important things, and I tell kids, and it's something I used to work on myself, is you cannot try to throw hard until you have full leverage in the ground. Like if he tries to throw hard from here, he's going to fly open and not throw any strikes and lose energy. But so you just kind of drift into this spot, let it all happen naturally, and from here, that's when you lower the boom and you accelerate it through. And watch how hard he accelerates at the end. Wham! That's beautiful. So that was a lot of intent. And that is a strikeout to start off the fourth. Here's the second out. It's a knuckle curve to Victor Mesa Jr.
Tapper towards first. Alonso scoops it up and gets the out on Victor.
Arm is so whippy though. The finish slapping the back left pocket. So whippy. I agree. I mean, the arm is free and easy as you could ever want. And then another banger curveball below zone. So this is his plus pitch. I think there's no doubt about it. Above average velo, movement. The straight up and down shape allows him to get lefties out. If I were him, I'm trying to think what I would recommend. I mean, obviously he pitches a good game this one, but we'll talk about it at the end. All right, curveball here, going to get a ground out on it. Jackson Holiday, haven't seen you in a while. I know you just came back. He gets out. Here is top of the order, third time through. Chandler Simpson gets a curveball. Simpson's been on him a little bit on the breaking balls. I think he did him a little bit of a favor with that high breaking ball. Base hit there. Now a 9-pitch at bat. Going to end up with a walk here to Junior Caminero. Can't blame you, but now he's in a little bit of a spot here in the fifth inning. 2 on, 2-run lead, 1 out. So let's watch how he digs out of this. Here's a Ronda. First pitch, changeup. Tapped foul. Second pitch, 4-seam. Up, fouled back. And another 4-seam. to the top of the zone. That was a nice pitch, and that one had some good ride on it. 18 inches of ride. And decides to get above the barrel here of Aranda and does. So a nice strikeout there. He's been able to punch his way out of a couple things. And now here's Yandy. He was part of the last time he punched some things out. There's a first pitch cutter. This one I didn't mind as much. This was a good location. If you're going to throw right on right cutter, this is the lane I wanted in. Look at this. Strike, 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 strike. Right off the edge. Test him, see where he's at. He's in ambush mode. But it's off the end because he's expecting sinkers in. He knows that they're going to pound him sinkers in and curveballs. So I love that 0-0 pitch. That gave him a lot of information, and it hopped him out 0-1. Now he goes sinker in, expecting the dive now. Ooh, kind of misses with that, but at least it was a somewhat safe location and did have 15 on it, so he's under that. Curveball goes to his best pitch here. Overthrows it right down the middle. I talked about this on the broadcast the other day. This is not a time to overthrow this pitch. You got to get it right down here. This is a location situation. This is not a how nasty can you throw your curveball. He tries to go the other way. He tries to throw the nastiest curveball of his life. Throws it 89, but he throws it right down the middle, and he got lucky to get away with it. Let's see if he makes an adjustment on the next curveball if he throws it again. 97.5 up for the take. And now the curve. Let's see if he makes the adjustment and gets it below the zone. He does. Much better. Gets the chase, throws it into an unhittable location. Also, how do I know he made the adjustment? Mainly because of the velo. It's 86.6. The other one was 89. So he didn't try to overthrow this pitch. He tried to make sure he threw it where he needed to. And he gets the strikeout and punches his way out of that inning. He's done that twice, and Yandy's had some rough at-bats against him. All right, 6th inning. Going to get the first out here on a knuckle curve to Richie. Pretty good pass at that, but it's pretty deep out there. There's an out there. Then an out to Cedric Mullins on a fastball. What happened to Cedric Mullins? He was on Team USA with me in 23, and he was still young, and I thought he was coming into his own, had come into his own, but he scuffled hard the last little while. So there's a fly out, 2 outs, and then up 3-2 walk. So he wasted some pitches in this at-bat, walking Mesa Jr., and then this at-bat too, and he's going to end up getting out of it with a curveball to Fiducia. Yeah, when he lands his curveball below zone, it's deadly. It's a vicious pitch. If I'm him, I'm practicing this location all the time, because look at how this ball starts kind of medium height. Like, that's beautiful. You can start medium height and get below the zone for chase. You're golden. And then if I'm him, I'm practicing 2 fastball locations. I'm practicing the down and away freeze, and I'm practicing the up above the zone chase, and I want to be able to freeze both sides of the plate. So if it's a righty, I want to go over here. If it's a lefty, I want to go over here. I'm practicing that a lot, so then when he throws the ball down, he gets the chase because he's earned them to swing at low pitches. So that's what I want to see for sure, because that curveball, you have to feed into the effectiveness of that curveball as much as you can. All right, 7th inning, curveball again. Even though it's high, it's a tough pitch to hit anyway, and he grounds that to third. 1 out there, and then a 1-pitch out to Simpson. So he did get to the 4th time through the lineup. I mentioned how he did Simpson some favors with some slow stuff in the zone earlier. This time it's a fastball, punches it out to center. Easy out there, and then he's going to finish his outing with a very nice 7th inning. Gets Junior Caminero with a cutter away. This was a dangerous pitch, didn't quite get it to the corner, and didn't have great movement. This was a slider movement. What did he throw him first pitch? He went knuckle curve to cutter.
It's been terrific tonight, his fastball.
That's a good pitch. And then the cutter, I mean, he wanted to get it off the edge, and we're not perfect, so I'm not going to ding him on this. He gets the out anyway, but yeah. He's got to be careful with this cutter a little bit. He's not getting consistent shape. That's for sure. All right, so that's Shane Baz. We'll go look at, I want to look at a few things, and I will get in the chat, and I'll tell you what my recommendation for him would be moving forward. All right. Yeah. So you look at the run value on his season so far. He's actually getting positive run value out of the cutter this year, whereas last year he did not. This year it's been the 4-seam that's getting hit really hard. Curveballs actually does not have run value, but again, I think you can look at run value sometimes and it can fool you a little bit. But for me, everything is built around, for me, how you have to figure out how much you want to throw that curveball, and then you try to build everything else around that, because the curveball to me is plus plus. All right, let's look at his results by pitch type versus side. So versus righties, he is 35.2% cutter. So he's leaning cutter versus righties, and they're hitting 205 against it. Okay, has given up 2 home runs. Doesn't get a ton of whiff on it. But that's interesting. And then he goes curve off of that. So he's trying to tunnel cutter to curveball. And then the 4-seam, 24.9%, hitting 214 off that with 1 home run. The sinker's been very effective so far, has only allowed 2 hits, and he's used it 12.6% of the time. I would expect the sinker percentage versus righties to probably rise, and then that will give him a little more breathing room for the 4-seam. The cutter, I mean, I'm wondering if he should be using that a lot, like when he's ahead in the count for chase only. I'd be careful. Again, I'd still be careful with throwing that in the zone. So that's his righties approach. What's his lefties approach? 4-seam, 40%, knuckle curve, 37%, changeup, 12, 8.5 to the cutter. So he did reduce his cutter usage to lefties, and I would recommend him continuing to do that and only throwing it for chase counts, because they're hitting 400 off of it with a 499 WOBA and a 441 X WOBA, and it's got no real whiff. So he should really be not throwing the cutter, which is really playing like a slider a lot to the lefties, unless he's going to get it off the plate. So yes, it's the 4-seam and the knuckle curve, I would agree, is the biggest thing. Of course, if you could learn the front door sinker, that would help. Changeup, okay. I'm not as worried about him if he goes 4-seam knuckle curve to lefties. I think that's a good strategy. Versus the righties, though, I would uplift his usage on sinker, take away a little bit of cutter. That would probably be my solution. But I do think the overall thing you're looking at here is a lack of deception. I think somebody mentioned it here in the chat. Let's see here. Yeah, JT. I think he suffers from a lack of deception. Good velo, but shapes and delivery aren't super unique. Some timing disruption stuff could be cool, I think, to protect him as pitch, especially in zone. Yeah, so you saw how he had a pretty comfortable slide step with man on first. If I were him, even out of the windup, even with nobody on, I would do high leg kick and I would do slide step, particularly when I'm going to double up on pitches. Like if I'm going to throw 2 fastballs in a row or 2 curveballs in a row, I would be leaning into a little bit of that, because I agree with you. He's got no deception. His delivery's like a metronome. It's the exact same speed every time. He doesn't do any cross body stuff. He opens up. He shows the hand pretty easy. It's a very typical arm angle. So he's living in a lot of averages. You know, average style delivery, average style of shapes for the most part, outside of that curveball, which is a little bit of an outlier in my mind. So yes, timing disruptions could be a thing. And I just want to know, what's the limit on the curveball? How much can he really throw the curveball? I think that would be interesting to find out. He's very quiet, doesn't hide the ball very well, shows it early. He's really started using that curve a lot his last couple outings. And for me, that's what I would probably do. You're working to change that same spot out and away to lefties. Yeah, but again, you know, changeup requires a level of you got to set the bait first, right? So if you don't hit with a good fastball middle away or down, then you're probably not going to get the chase of the changeup. If you're rushing a fastball in and you want to go changeup away in zone, that's okay. But I didn't see a lot of intentional up in fastballs to lefties from him. If I were him, I would work lefties in with my fastball more than away. I would do that instead of going cutter in. But we'll see. But the cutters that get hit are likely mistakes right down the middle. But that's my issue. With the cutter. My issue is that he doesn't have great command of it, and it's not a great pitch. So he should be using it in situations where it's okay to throw a ball with it, where you're like, let's say he throws fastball in, right? If I'm a left-handed hitter and I'm facing Shane Baz, right? So I'm up here in the box. If he shows me a fastball on the inner third, but it's a strike, a called strike, well, now I have to fire on stuff on the inner third. That's when you run that cutter off that same lane and bring it in towards my belly. Then I'm swinging at a ball. But if you just try to throw your cutter middle in as the first option, and you think you're going to get it to the up and in and jam me, that's great if you have command. But if you don't have command, like we actually saw in this game, you're going to miss a lot down, in, down, middle, and those pitches are super hittable. So I just think he's got to be careful with that. And then you add in the front hip sinker into the triple tunnel over here, right? So you're getting information. This is versus lefties. Fastball in, they swing at it. Okay, I can throw cutter in off the plate to get the chase. If they don't chase cutter in off the plate, or if you pull that first four seam in off the plate and you get an easy take, well, guess what's open now? Sinker starts at you and comes back over the plate. So those three pitches will all work together if he can execute them. But if I were him, I would be practicing a couple fastball locations. Obviously, the chase above the zone, the two freezes that I showed you, that will work well with the curveball. But I also want him to practice that glove side right on the corner Jacob deGrom spot, because that's going to give him a lot of value if he wants to keep throwing that slider cutter pitch. And he's going to speed up lefties, and then the curveball will play even more to his advantage, because people will like be cheating a little bit, so they'll have to decide a little earlier, and then they're going to make bad choices on the curveball. That would be my thought on him a little bit. Are there good examples of pitchers becoming more deceptive over time? Yeah, so a big one is like moving on the rubber. Plenty of guys will like shift to get like into a more uncomfortable position to face the batter without doing much with their delivery. You see that a lot. Like Will Warren is a guy who I'd say has much better deception now than he had last year, because he's further over on the rubber versus righties and creating a weird angle to lefties. Boz, I'm not sure if I would do that or not. Maybe there's some stuff plus stuff you could look into, and like an Oriole model that would kind of help drive that. But you know, I just he's giving me Jordan Lyles vibes a little bit, because it's like a guy who has clean, nice mechanics, a nice pitch mix, good velocity, but the lack of deception is really bogging down his ability to make a batter uncomfortable, you know? And I think at the end of the day, you want to have as much challenges as possible for the batter. So I'm curious what Eno's model is saying on Boz. Here it is. It has his stuff being down a tick from the rest of his career. Still has the knuckle curve as a 104 stuff plus. Had it at 120 last year. And it does have his four seam as a 105. He has pretty good ride and velocity, but nothing really sticking out crazy. That cutter at a 96, has the sinker at an 89, but I think that's still a good pitch for him versus righties to keep them honest. So it definitely serves a purpose. Has the changeup way down there as a 75, because I know it didn't really have much of a shape. So anyway, that's one person's opinion. Let's see if what Robert Stock has to say about Boz here. Luke Weber has added deception over his career as well, mainly with timing cues. Yeah, and then a lot of other guys too do the timing stuff too. You know, have added that in over time. Different possibilities. All right, find a pitcher. Boz. Shane Boz. Let's see what the Barnyard's saying. Has him as a 101 stuff plus, pitching plus 101, location slightly below. Has a 90, let's see what it gives him, a 105 on the curveball, 105 on the sinker. So he disagrees a little bit. Actually likes his cutter too a little bit, 101. So it's funny how you look at different models and everybody will have, you know, different ideas. Has him at 48-degree arm angle. That's weird. Baseball Savant had him different. All right. I think I'm done talking about Shane Boz, but a little curious looking at him and kind of at the Orioles as a team. How are they going to be able to dig out of this, you know? Do they have enough pitching to be able to dig out of this? You look at the roster real quick. This is our last second looking at the Orioles here. I do think the offense still has a lot of potential, but this group right here is going to have to figure it out. Bradish, who's been mostly good. Boz, Bassett, who I still believe at the end of the day will put up like a mid-4 to low-4 with a ton of innings. So he'll give you a chance a lot, but he's not an ace anymore or whatever. Brandon Young, not sure. Trevor Rogers, everything has collapsed on him all of a sudden. And then in the bullpen, they have good arms, but you know, a lot of moving parts. There's been a lot of shuffling. It's not the scariest unit either. So I don't know. I think they're kind of in trouble, especially from a pitching side. So it's a problem. All right. So that's it for the Oriole talk. Let's go. Should we go look at the rookie Gage jump, or should we start looking at some? Should we start looking at some hitters? Let's look at Gage jump. since I don't think I'm going to make a video. I just don't think there's going to be enough people that are probably going to watch it. So we might as well check out the kid's debut. There was 88 pitches. We could watch it right now. I could switch over. We could do the watching right now if we want, or we could just go through it normal and not make a video. I think we'll just go through it normal. All right. Here is Gage jump. 5 innings, 9 hits, 4 earned, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Let's learn a little bit more about him on the way to doing this video. There he is, the number 3 prospect of the Athletics. 60 fastball, 55 curveball, 55 slider, 50 changeup, 55 control, overall 55. Man, I don't know. Those grades are pretty interesting. Let's see. Jump was a top 50 prospect coming out of California high school, decided to go to UCLA, pitched briefly before getting Tommy John, missed all of 23, transferred to LSU, threw well enough to get picked in competitive balance round B, so that's somewhere between second and third round, right? Or maybe it's between first and second. Then they paid him over slot money. 6-footer. His fastball is always played up because of deception stemming from his lower arm slot, and his velocity has taken a nice step forward. Sat 92, 94 at LSU. Averaged 94.6. According to Synergy, reached upper 90s, touching triple digits occasionally, has distinct breaking stuff. Went to low 80s slider with cutting action frequently in first-year pro ball, 36% miss rate, upper 70s curveball. So it's the 2 breaking balls, unorthodox delivery, small guy. What was his numbers like in AAA? He was pitching in Vegas, so that place is a nightmare. 9 games, 4.5 ERA, 38 innings, 56 strikeouts. That's pretty good. Too many walks. But he is a left-hander. So, yeah, curious to see how this went. Here's the breakdown that we're about to watch. 47 heaters, so leaned on the heater a lot. 19 sliders, 11 sweepers. So slider, sweeper, and curveball in here. 7 changeups, 4 curves. Got 45% miss on the slider in his debut. Got a lot of whiff in general. 29% whiff, 68% first pitch strikes, 47% zone rate. Fastball's got 17 and 8. That's pretty dang good, especially if he's low slot. Sliders, a gyro with a little bit more movement to the right. Sweeper, similar but bigger. Changeup, not a lot of drop, but it has low spin, which is weird. And then curveball is a big banger. So big banger at 81. All right, Seattle and the A's. Here he is, Gage jump. Let me just see what you got in that thing here. First player debut from the 2025 class. I think he was 2024, Uncle Ted. I'm not positive, but yeah, he should use Van Halen. You know, jump. So stuff is retrained every year, so a big drop on a pitch could be an injury, an arm angle change, etc. The league has gotten better at hitting that pitch, or a mix of, yeah, that's true. There's a lot of factors. I would agree with that. All right, Gage jump, major league debut. First batter he faces is a 3-pitch strikeout of J.P. Crawford. Welcome to the show. Oh, very weird delivery. We're going to have to break that down. We're going to have to get a gauge of how this guy pitches. Fastball, fastball, and then sweeper for the punchy. Ooh. Everything was nasty right there. Everything was nasty. That looks like that might be the family. Every single thing was nasty right there. The 4-seam had 18 inches of ride at 97 with like a hitch in the delivery. Comes up. Wow, what a weird action. So it gets weightless, which is good, but then look at that hand takeout. The takeout, super weird. Arm just stays in place, and then he's still able to fire it. I am very confused about this man's arm action. I don't know if I hate it or like it, but it is super weird. First base side. Dude, I don't know what to say about this one. This is something else. It's a short arm stroke, but like it's just a weird takeout. You don't see people take the ball out up here very often. Does get it up and gets that usual stretch that everybody else is getting, and he does have a lot of intent through the finish. But that's a very bizarre thing we're watching here. Anyway, ball's flying out of the hand. 3-pitch strikeout to start the career. Next batter up, Julio. Fastball at the top. His fastball is good. He's got a good fastball, and I think you want to talk about hiding the ball. I think he hides the ball pretty well behind him. There's that changeup. Flies it out to Law, so 2 outs in the first, and now Randy. Here's that curveball. Misses with the arm side. Here's a fastball at 97.5. I can see why this guy's been tough to hit. I mean, he's got a combination of some funk, a couple nasty breaking balls. That's a nasty gyro right there. He's got velo. He definitely something with his height and release height. He's getting that depth with the back knee, so he's getting a little low. And then you can see the breaking balls are pretty serious. That first sweeper he threw was nasty, and he gets 2 swing and misses on sliders in this at bat. So he's through the first. Kind of interesting. Let's see what we got here in the chat. Is it a Mike Hampton thing? A little bit. Little bit. He gets hella low, and he's got the high elbow early. I'm with you, Mitch. I think it's amazing he gets it up on time, but it's kind of weird. Like, if you notice, like, at the top here, the hand's already out of the glove way up here. I would just think, like, you see how, like, tensed his trap is right here? How his trapezius is, like, all... I would think, like, that would be a thing he would be constantly working on. You know, it's just, what is my trap doing? So, I don't know. That's something I'm thinking about a little bit while watching him. All right, second inning.
Those 11 innings were shutout innings.
Josh Naylor, slider for a strike. He's got good velocity on that slider, too. Anything over 85 we like. And then he gets beat here with a fastball. That's just Josh Naylor doing Josh Naylor stuff. Takes him to right for a hit. Next up, Rob Refsnyder, who's off to a really, really tough start. Doing nothing so far this year, and that's definitely hurt the Mariners. That's a good changeup. Really good location with this, and I also think because of the nature of his delivery, he's going to hide that changeup really well. With all that bounce he's got going on, that's going to help him in his deception. Here's a pickoff. Let's see what that looks from over here. I think the reason why he didn't sell it is because he's not as bouncy in the pickoff like he is in the delivery. I think if he was more bouncy like this, let's watch how bouncy he is here. I think if he was a little more bouncy on the uptake, he might get you on the pickoff, but not great. Anyway, 0-2, another hit coming here on a slider. Hey, Refsnyder needed that one bad. Kind of gets beat with that slider, honestly, up. Punches it to right. So first and second, no outs. Mitch Garver. Four seam away. Four seam's good. Ball definitely jumps out of his hand. Man, he's got nothing but puns with this name. Change up down ball. Didn't locate that one.
Called strike on the 97.
Balls off of that.
I've heard a school of thought in regards how QBs go straight to the ear. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of ways to do that. He ends up getting beat here on a sweeper that doesn't get out of the zone and pumps it down the line for a double. That's going to score some runs. Let me watch this pitch again. Tries to go left on right sweeper here. Gets it below the zone, but that ends up being rolled down the line, so it gets kind of victimized there a little bit. Second and third, no outs, 1 run in here. Here's Cole Young. Four seam in, fouled back, now to the slider. He's getting good results on the slider even when he doesn't locate it. The regular slider, I should say. There's the sweeper. I like the slider to sweeper combo. Another sweeper here, and kind of hangs it. It's going to be a sac fly.
Towards his left, make the catch, and here comes the run home. Sacrifice fly.
2 runs in.
Victor Robles up.
The external rotation from -90 to 90 is so quick in getting to the power position. The handbrake reminds me a little bit of Billy Wagner. Yeah, with the height, but he differs by dropping the arm down from it. Yeah, Billy kept it up, and it kind of just naturally slid into place as he drifted forward. Gage kind of gets it up, but then drops it and throws. So it's, I don't know. Not sure I've ever seen an arm angle quite, like an arm action quite like this, but I don't hate it for any. I'm not biased against it or anything. It looks like he can repeat it pretty well. More than anything in this inning, you know, a couple weak hits and then, you know, just a couple mistakes with 2 strikes in the middle. Like this one is too hittable for Robles in the middle here. You know, this play could have maybe been made, but either way, didn't finish him. All right, first and third. Slider down to Colt Emerson, who I haven't watched much yet. Slider away, swing and miss. Why can some pitchers throw both a gyro and a sweeper, but some pitchers can't? Is it an arm angle thing, supination thing? Yeah, arm angle and supination thing, probably. Like a lot of guys who are more over the top and they're pronators, they can throw a gyro really good, but they have a harder time with sweepers. If you're too low of a guy, you might have a hard time getting a really good gyro shape like I did. But if you're kind of more in the middle ground, you might be able to produce both. And then there's some outliers who can produce both out of one extreme or the other extreme, arm angle, high or low, but that's a low percentage. So a good at-bat by Emerson, ends up drawing the walk on the slider, and he's had a pretty rough second inning here in terms of just working hard. Bases loaded now, 1 out. Back to the top of the order, J.P. Crawford. Punched him out 3 times in a row. The first time. Wanted that call, should have gotten that call, but hard to challenge it there. So that's 1-0. Another fastball coming in here. So he drops it, it lines up with his quad, and then as his hips open, his arm goes straight through. Yeah, that's why I don't hate it that much. It's definitely natural to him, and it doesn't look like it's like there's too much contorting or anything weird going on with the shoulder. But it's just odd. It's just a weird stroke. All right, slider here to JP. Got that to a good spot. And if he didn't, if it was a little higher, it would have been over the wall. But he gets him off the end, so that's the 3rd run that's coming in on a sac fly. And now it's Julio. 4-seam away, fouled back. The 4-seam's playing too. He hasn't gotten beat much with the fastball. It's been mostly mistakes in the middle of the zone with his off-speed.
So Aaron Savali heading to the IL. That's what made room for Gage.
Definitely overthrowing a little bit here. 2-1 slider. Gonna get a ground out to short to get himself out of the 3rd. Onto the 4th. First pitch out coming here from Randy. Ooh, beautiful. Gets him to swing that above the zone. That had 20 inches of vert. I like his fastball a lot. I do. I think he's got deception. I think the breaking pitches are good. Not sure about the changeup yet, but I think with his delivery, wow, that was dang close. Holy cow. I think with his delivery, he'll be able to sell a changeup. But I need to know more about his command. He had too many walks by the numbers in AAA, so it makes me think that he's not super dialed with the strike throwing yet or the locations. But there's some deception here. There's some stuff here for sure. Slider to center, laws on that. Ref Snyder now. Curveball strike.
In the zone, feels like you want to be able to go after it. Because Gage.
You'll bet the A's game today. Nice. And then an 0-2 hit by pitch. That sucks. Ends up clipping Ref Snyder on the hand there. So, got to face another batter here. Mitch Garver rolled over a sweeper down the line the first time.
Although there was no call in the field, Athletics able to challenge review.
He only threw like 50% of strikes in AAA. His fastball slider were the only pitches he really gets in the zone. Yeah, it's sort of what it's looking like. I think that probably, I would imagine, for most of his career pitching, he's just overwhelmed the opponent. You know, with the deception he has, the velocity he has, throwing left-handed, the 2 breaking balls that he has. I think for the most part, he's probably just overwhelmed his opponent. And in the big leagues, he's going to have to, you know, he's going to have to be a little more precise. So there's another hit, and then he's going to get out of this inning with a first pitch sweeper to Cole Young, where he rolls that over. I do like the breaking balls he has. I think they're both very good. But yeah, it's feeling like the strike throwing is not there yet. 4th inning. Curveball backdoor to Robles. I have to see his walk rates in other levels besides just last year. But that's what it's looking like a little bit to me. Change up down for a ball. Slider here. That's another take. And then here's a hit. So Robles has hit the fastball off of him twice. Poor locations both times. Once with 2 strikes, and this one's a 3-1. Robles likes it down. Spanks that. Here's Emerson. Ball.
Second inning feels like it was never going to end.
Ball. Yeah, not a great feel here in his debut.
Everything seems magnified, I'm sure.
I'm not down on him though. He's definitely got stuff to work with.
2-1.
It's just I've never seen an arm action quite like this, and you know, clearly he didn't have his best strike throwing in this game, and even like that's a poor execution. Gets away with it. That's a poor execution. All right, one out here, another hit coming. Slider to JP.
Swung on for JP
Looper into left, base hit. First and third. And then a first pitch contact here on a curveball to Julio. This is third time through. They decided to be aggressive here. Smacks that through the hole. That's going to score a run. Now Randy. Four-seam middle, fouled off. I still think the fastball's been generally playing outside of two to Robles. Yeah, fastball up.
51 average on the road.
He should have thrown another one. Instead, he throws a sweeper right down the middle. That's a really bad pitch call, but also bad execution. Bases loaded. Naylor. Slider, swing and miss, probably to the sweeper. He's also a little predictable with slider, then followed by sweeper. Ooh, he's going to get the double play? He is. He gets the double play to get out of it. Slider to sweeper. All right, comes back out for the next inning. Ref Snyder.
Debut for Gage jump.
Is it just me, or does he kind of look like BJ Ryan? There's a little bit of BJ Ryan in there. A little herky-jerky left-handed stuff going on. A little bit. Different body type, though. Where do you see possible improvements outside of strike throwing? Anything mechanically or just mental aspect? It's too early for me to comment on if the mechanic can work or not, but I do think it's providing some level of deception. For him, you know, it's like everybody else. Now that you're in the big leagues and you're facing the best guys, he's going to have to figure out,
Made his wife happy.
you know, what he can and can't do. That's going to be a strikeout, bottom of the zone. Hey, kid. How are you?
Just hanging.
Just hanging?
The baller I am.
You are a baller.
Right now for Gage, the first to Mitch Garver. Swung on him foul.
Significantly better stuff than I ever thought about happening.
Oh yeah, we started conceptualizing grounds crew stuff today. We made some pins that can you know be clipped to your hat or whatever. Some grounds crew membership stuff, and I don't know, we'll keep working on that. But the pin will be the first thing. Should be very cool. Fastball down, popped up. I'm trying to think about my recommendations. I mean, again, you know, it's tough. Like I watched this guy like one time, and you know, I'm supposed to fix him on the fly. I don't think he needs to necessarily be fixed. It's just, again, like he needs to go through the league a few times now. You know, get some more sample size, see what's actually playing and what's not actually playing. I have a hunch that the fastball slider sweeper is going to be his game, but he's looking like he'll end up like a relief pitcher to me, unless he figures out how to command a little better. And then he's also got to start reading swings. You can tell there's no swing reading going on between him and the catcher, because he's walked into some bad pitch choices in this game. But I do like both breaking balls, and I kind of like the deception. So I get why he's a big prospect, but he doesn't look like super refined to me either. I think in the old days, this guy would still be in AAA, probably. Probably wouldn't be a big leaguer yet. All right, what do we got here in the thing? Everyday Eddie is a pretty good comp, a little bit. Yeah, I like that. Or Paco Rodriguez used to have the arm action with the snake from the Dodgers. Philip, that's a good call. What happened to Paco? He was great at the beginning, and then he kind of was gone before you knew it from the Dodgers. That's good. I think the arm action lends itself to spraying the fastball a little bit. It requires perfect timing with his body to sink and everything up, and if he misses the window, it's off. You can see with the spiked fastballs. Yeah, I mean, the point of having an efficient arm action is to give yourself more margin for error on your timing of your hand, like to be more consistently getting your hand timing correct at release. And I can agree with you, Mitch, that he's got a little bit of like arm action weirdness that sometimes when he goes to rotate his hands a little late, or then he makes the other mistake and overcooks it with the hand. But a lot of guys do that. So it's hard to tell whether it's purely this arm action, but I do think that he kind of like does that bounce and he gets in here with the crouch, and then it's like if he doesn't rotate in the right timing with the hand, he's going to have a lot of easy arm side flyers. I think his release is not repeatable, says Blaze. I think that at the moment he didn't show very good repeatability in that first game, at least. But He'll be easily a big leaguer. Like, if he doesn't stick in as a starter, he'll probably be a nasty reliever. Probably throw 97, 99 as a reliever with even more speed on those 2 breaking balls, which are good. And he has deception, and they'll line him up versus lefties. So all that's good. Spectre says he's excited for the merch. Can't wait. What, did you write something in the chat? You're smiling at me like you did something naughty. What did you do? Is there something I don't know about? Seeing how fast I can make AO blush. That's what it was. I knew it. I knew it.
Those rosy cheeks right there.
You know what we should do for Grounds Crew? Maybe
What?
merch down the line?
What?
Like a raincoat.
Like your Rockies
Like my
one.
Rockies one that's missing.
Yes.
Something like that. Like a
Yes.
staff
Yes.
or something.
Yes.
Something like that.
Fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, something. All right, what else we got here? Reading swings feels like such a low-hanging fruit. How do you make the bigs without learning that? Not criticizing anyone, genuinely curious. This is a good comment. Great comment by JT. You know how you make it? Because they don't teach it anymore, and you're just nastier than everybody else, and they have stuff metrics that they like, and they say, oh, this stuff should translate to the big leagues, so we're going to get him up there, and then we'll call the pitches, or we'll help him with his strategy. They don't teach you how to read swings, and you don't really learn that until you're on. Honestly, to be fair, I tried to learn it when I was younger, but I didn't really learn it until I was in the big leagues. Because until you're in the big leagues, a lot of the stuff you learn in like the lower levels, it doesn't apply the same. So you have to get beat up a little bit. You have to learn what works, what doesn't work. You have to watch enough baseball and hitters and face enough good hitters to start to understand that stuff. So I'm not saying he should know it, but I'm saying in this game, between him and the catcher, there wasn't any of that going on, and they messed up a lot. But it is low-hanging fruit. But at the same time, it's not that easy to learn it. Like, there's major leaguers that play a long time and don't know how to do it. They need the catcher to kind of do it for them. Touch more fastball command might go a long way. Seems like he was missing his low spots often. Okay, Paco got hurt, never found his velo again. Yeah. Suggestion for the merch, play around with the double meaning of tamping, meaning character tamping a mound inside of espresso press. That makes, like, because we tamp the coffee down, but they also tamp the mound with like a big tamper on the Grounds Crew. That's pretty good.
I love double meanings.
Do you agree with my take on his pitching style, this pitcher I'm talking about?
I wasn't paying attention, but yes.
She wasn't paying attention, but yes. When he drops his arm out of his glove, I noticed that he lines it up his quad, but other times when he drops his hand down, drops down before he comes up. Yeah, maybe a little bit of inconsistency with that. His tell appears to be his hand position as he goes from low to high, because on some of the hand drops down first, other times it doesn't. Yeah, we watched this one. We have a video on Trevor McDonald's best start, which was like 2 or 3 starts ago. There's a whole video in there. All right. That was Gage jump. First start. So we'll see how he progresses. Hopefully he gets more opportunities here so we can watch him more. I do think the fastball is good, though. I do. Fastball and the 2 breaking balls. You can see stuff-wise why people, are a little bit high on him. Lefty, 96, low release with good ride. That's a good fastball. And then the 2 sliders are above average speed. And honestly, the shorter one got a lot of whiff. So that's pretty good. So my wife is being funny right now.
I'm so funny.
Yeah.
I should have my own show.
You should. The Brett Show.
Brett Show.
Yeah, the Brett Show. Why not just make your own brand of coffee called Grounds Crew? We're working on coffee ideas too. We're gonna make our own coffee. Yes, that's gonna happen.
But if you have recommendations of roasters across the country, let us know.
Tarps on, Grounds Crew slogan, because now they're doing this thing. Have you seen these frat boys that are at all the field now doing tarps off, where they get a huge section, all these boys take their shirts off and they wave them in the crowd?
I watch off campus, and that's all that I'm
What's
about.
off campus?
You need to know.
I don't need to know.
Need to play hockey.
I'm not a hockey player anymore.
But
Well, I want to play again, but
yeah,
who's
you
got
will.
time?
You'll make time.
He didn't
Watch
really
off
use the
campus.
curveball, and it might be
Are you
his best
blushing?
pitch. You make me blush all the time.
I know.
How well do most pitchers understand and implement tunneling when sequencing at bats? Not as many as should, but I think once you're in the league like 2 or 3 years, not as many as should.
Not as many as they should.
Not as many as they should. I don't know, whatever. Point is, you improve this over time because you start to learn what the game's really about once you're in the league for a little while, which is play the game pitch to pitch. So that's the biggest thing. You don't really need to do that at the lower levels.
I don't like your like and subscribe box. Can you bring that off?
Why? What's wrong with that?
It's ruining the visual.
I can take it off whenever I want. I can just unclick it like this. Boop, gone.
Boop, gone. Keep it off.
But why? It's important. It's to remind people to like and subscribe.
Okay, 1, people don't need the reminder. 2, you can't click it. I clicked it, and you know what it
No,
did?
you can't click it.
Yeah. You know what it did?
What?
It pauses your stream.
No, you can't click it. It's just a reminder.
No, it needs the reminder.
Yeah, they do.
Then put reminder.
You can't do a
It
clickable
looks
link.
like a button.
You can't put it in. I've tried.
Oh, it looks like a button.
There's a button right below that just reminds you on the screen that you're watching. Oh, hit that little thumbs up or the sub
All right,
button.
so you don't need that.
I'm keeping it for a bit.
No one likes it. They told me.
Who's they?
The ground crew wrote me.
The ground crew didn't tell you
They
anything.
wrote me a private message.
Get out of town.
Slid into my DMs.
Nobody slid into your DMs. Relax.
You would slide into my DMs.
Yeah, besides you. It does disappear when it's clicked. Some people are saying they like it. Some people are saying they don't.
No,
Whatever.
Who said they like it? Give me names.
Brian said off-campus hockey ROM reminds
Yeah.
me of junior hockey. LOL.
Haha.
I wouldn't be surprised if the smart teams have a tunneling model these days. Yeah, I don't know. I only know of off-campus because the off-campus actor threw the first pitch at the White Sox game, Vera Doodle says.
It's a good show.
Make it smaller and not by your head,
Thank
Victoria
you.
says. So
Who
I can
said
do
that?
that,
That
Victoria.
was
But
it.
watch, I'll fix that right now. Ready? Pew.
Your sound effects are great. You're like Rooster. Ask them if they've seen Rooster. Oh, someone's calling.
Someone's calling you. I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to put it over here now.
Isabel.
All right, go take your call, lady.
I have friends.
Bottom right, it would be perfect. Bam. Bam, Dan. Bam, bam.
Hello?
I'm putting it back on the TikTok
Just
side.
now.
I'm not listening to my wife. That off-campus show is huge. All right, we need to watch some batters for a little bit because there was some batters to watch yesterday. And we just watched a couple pitchers. My thoughts on Braxton Ashcraft, though, real quick. Probably the most underrated pitcher in the league. The pitcher in the league that people don't know about. That's shoving and is a top 20 pitcher in baseball at the moment. Braxton Ashcraft, that's what he is right now. He's a true number 2 right now at this moment. That's how well he's pitched this season. That's my thoughts on him. We've watched him twice already this year. He's been awesome. So I'm big on him. All right, let's go look at Mookie Betts. All right, Mookie, we'll start with Mookie, the Mook man. He had a big game yesterday for the Doyers versus the Rock Show as they beat the tar out of the Rockies. Maybe we'll watch some eephus pitches too here towards the end. Mr. Mookie Betts, 3 for 5 in the 4-hole, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. He's now hitting 190, 679 OPS in a small sample. But you look under the hood, things are starting to trend up, above average in every category except hard hit and bat speed, but he's never really had bat speed. Also walks, usually he's a little better with walks, but if you have a chase rate like he has and a whiff rate like he has, you're going to get more, well, not whiff rate, but chase rate, you're going to get more walks. So he's starting to get going a little bit. Let's watch all his at-bats from yesterday. Rock Show versus Doyers, Los Doyers. And Mookie Betts, 3 for 5. First at bat, he's going to homer off Kyle Freeland. All right, first pitch cutter. So this was a 2-out situation in the first. Backdoor slider cutter thing from Kyle. Now he's going to go to changeup. Mind you, the way you pitch Mookie, or at least the way I pitched Mookie, was always away, 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 away. Don't want to let him pull anything in the air. That's where the power is. This is going to be a mistake, right? Yep, middle in. And he goes to center. That's a little odd for Mookie. Does the ball just fly at Dodger Stadium or what? 100.7 at 26. I mean, happy for him that he hit this out, but this was not a home run swing in my mind. Did get it over 100. But again, it's a mistake middle in, but that's the thing. Mookie punishes those mistakes with regularity. That's one of his superpowers, is the lack of chase, and he doesn't usually miss it when you throw it there. So that's a good sign for Dodger fans. And you know what? Even though he's only hitting 190, he was hitting 165 coming into this game. So this was good. This was a good thing for Mookie Betts. They weren't sure in the dugout. My armchair analysis is that Mookie has stopped punishing in-zone spin like he used to. So that's the thing. When he's going right, he does. He hit any mistake you make, in-zone, spin, middle in, he's going to clip you. Also, watch how he pulls the hands in and still manages to get this ball out in front of him. Really tight with the arms there. So that's just a good job by Mookie. But, you know, it's fair to wonder what he was going to look like this year a little bit, but this was a good game for him. This was a good sign, and that's the first at-bat with that home run. All right, second at-bat versus Freeland. Similar situation, but 1 out. Change up away, pick off, and then he's going to give up a hit to him on a knuckle curve. Misses with that. Middle in, middle down, smacks it into left for a hit. Pretty much the same thing as the first time. 2 mistakes, 2 hits. Third at-bat versus Kyle.
Bases now empty, 2 outs.
Cutter strike, that was a ball. That's the pitch that normally he hammers. He had a shot there for another home run. Swing still looks the same to me. Like the whole mechanism looks the same. And then he punches him out with an accidental front door changeup. Third at bat, it's a first pitch fastball home run. Yeah. Down middle, slightly in, and he beats him to the spot. So again, like there's some guys that have no fly zones middle in. He's been one of them when he's good. Also, he's just really good at hitting a nice backspin ball to left. It's only 98.6, but it goes out. And I do feel like the ball absolutely flies at Dodger Stadium. I don't know what happened, but this is like the best place to hit homers in the league now. It's crazy. Gone. So makes him pay there, and then he's going to get out this last time. I just want to see the swing. Almost clipped him again, middle in. Almost a 3-homer night. Just missed that one. Hit it a bit too high, 39-degree arm angle. But a good sign that he's on time for another fastball in. All right, so a little bit of a better game. You see, you know, there's some hitters in this league that are great players, like Mike Trout or Mookie Betts, Nolan Arenado. It's so simple. Like, their game is so simple. They hit mistakes, pull side, middle in, and they don't miss them. And then they're also usually good at not chasing a guy like Mookie, right? Or Trout. Trout is anything but the top rail, I hammer. Mookie's anything middle in, I hammer. Nolan's anything middle in, I hammer. Nolan's one weakness compared to those two guys is that he chases more. But it's the same thing. It's like, we need the ball in one location. I'm never going to miss it. If you pitch me to the other spots, it's going to be okay. It's a super simple game, but the reality is pitchers don't execute that well, and they make mistakes all the time. So let me get in the chat. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Am I a culture show now, talking off campus? Rest of season, who has better numbers, DeGrom or McClain? I'm still going to take DeGrom because DeGrom's floor is so high, and I think he'll continue to, you know, normalize and be great. I believe in McClain too, but that's my pick there. All right, we're talking about Mookie. Mookie finally went off last night. Dodgers are so boring. How much do you think his switch from outfield to shortstop impacted his batting? Maybe a little bit, but it shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been a ton. Shouldn't have been a ton. I think more so he just got himself in a little bit of a funk. He was also very unlucky last year. And then he's been hurt a bit. I'm going to give him time before I start panicking about Mookie. Has he always had that front to back rocking load? Yes, for a long time he's used the same load. It's taken a while, but he's back and he looks amazing. Up. Got to move that thing a little bit higher. Yep. Also, one of these home runs was a home run in 8 of 30 ballparks. Yeah. It just feels to me like he's really good at pulling it in the air. That's the only way he's going to hit a home run, although that one did go to center. But all right, what else we got here? Would be interesting to see frame-by-frame comparison, but his swing looks identical to 2018 still. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same. I think athletically he's gotten a little older, so he's a slightly less good athlete, but it's the same. I think with Mookie, it's just like not missing those pitches because he's not a guy who can drive the ball to all fields. So sometimes he's going to get pitched tough, and there's just nothing you're going to do in the power department. Like, he's not going to be hitting opposite field home runs, but As long as he consistently gets to the pitches that he needs to do damage on, the mistakes, that's where his numbers are really going to pop on the power side. And then other than that, it's just not chasing and making the pitchers throw the ball over the damn plate. Ohtani Betts back-to-back in the order might be the universe trying to tell us something. Does a batter's load ever play into how you want to pitch them? Yeah, of course. If it's too much, then you know you can beat them with velo or inside. If it's like a really quiet load and they're super early all the time, or they do a drift like Justin Turner where they drift forward, then maybe super slow for a minute to have them think twice about when they want to start that load. All that stuff. But, you know, a lot of different things you can do with loads. But like really, like if you have a very complicated load, that's just another way for me to, if I can mess with your timing, that gives me an option. You know what I mean? That gives me an option. Your love of baseball is unrivaled. Thank you. I do love this sport very, very much. It's been very, very good to me. Baseball has been very, very good to me. That is a Sammy Sosa quote. All right, we have more hitting to look at. Actually, before we go anywhere, Miguel Rojas, can we just watch him upchuck some really slow pitches? This is 58 miles an hour just for fun for a second. I want to see how slow he can go. This is 42. I want to see something that's under 40. That's 42. That's 53. Let's see. We're just going to zoom through and look for something under 40. This is 41. Oh my God. It's insanely slow. 43, 57. Also, mind you, they're winning in this game. This is Dave Roberts. Here it is, 39.3. Dave Roberts is the only manager I've seen to use this strategy, the winning, put the position player on the mound to end the game strategy. Sort of insulting to the other team, but also I totally get it. This one's 39.4. Look how hard it is to stay back. 39.8. Want to see Miggy's delivery from the side? He's even backing up, getting ready. He's backing up in case there's a line drive back to him. Oh, yeah, the Cardinals did it one time. That's a good point. That's a good point. I forgot about that. All right. Is there any other slower ones, even slower? No, that was it. All right. Do we have any visual of Kike getting hurt?
Been able to play through it. You mentioned that he has shared that it felt like he had
hammered that pitch, and then I'm assuming he comes out. He obviously doesn't hit again.
Well, it won't be a triple for that cycle, Carson, but it's another double for Kike. Go back to
oh yeah, you can tell he's hurting right there. He doesn't know what to do. Okay. You want to have Rosie take her out? Oh, yeah, there was a little bit of a on his face right here. If you really look, he hurt himself on that swing. That swing really hurt if you pay attention. Yeah, he gives a little bit of a move, and then he doesn't run hard, and you know he would be running hard. Oh, yeah, he's hurting this whole run to second. Dang. Man, I'm so sad. Now I just get to watch him open Pokemon cards on Pokikimon. Damn, that sucks. That really stinks. Pages also had a 4-hit day. Freeman, obviously it's versus the Rockies, and they kind of just beat the heck out of him. But that does suck to look at. Caught bullpens for a team in the American Association this past year. Were you ever interested in Mexican League or ever play there? I watched the vlogs when Bauer was in there. I have a friend, Justin Courtney, who's down there on Diablos. I have some other friends in that league. So I think it's becoming a much better league. It's an interesting league to track a little bit, but I was never going to play in the Mexican League. More than likely. Maybe for winter ball, but I would probably never go for summer ball when I was around, even though I do think it's pretty cool. Although it's crazy altitude in that league. Got to deal with that a lot. Mets did it with Terrens last year and had to bring in a reliever after. Couldn't even do that right. Did Brett bring in fresh flowers? She did, yeah. Casey Fossum might have been slower, but back then they measured from the plate, so it would be 89 today. Oh, get out of my, stop rage baiting me. Yeah, it says oblique. So sad. He was the spark for the team. Now, who knows? I mean, hopefully it won't be long. But we'll see. AKA AO El Blanco in Mexico, like Kenny Powers. Shed Long was a good dude who played with the team I was with. Said he loved hitting down in Mexico in the winter. Good league for guys to get innings. Yeah, I mean, it seems like they do a great job, but yeah, it was not something I ever did. All right, Yordan was also on my list. I think he had another good day yesterday. Let's go check up on Yordan for a second. Houston losing to Texas 10-7. Of course, Texas gets no hit. Then they go out and score 10 runs the next day. Jack Leiter, 6 innings, 4 runs. Jason Alexander, 6 innings, 9 runs. Yordan, 2 for 5, 2 home runs. Best hitter in the world at the moment, in my opinion. And Baseball Savant's opinion. 100th ex-WOBA, 100th ex-batting average, 100th ex-slugging. So that's pretty darn good. He's now hitting 303, 414, 631, 1,000 OPS, 18 home runs. So let's watch it. Let's watch him rake. This guy's a freaking monster. I don't know what to say about it. Houston and Texas. You want to watch the best, probably the best swing in the league right now, him and Juan Soto. That's my opinion. All right, this is going to be off Jack Leiter. Curveball.
33 RBIs this year.
Backdoor strike, and then changeup. Homer. Don't pull it.
And he hits that ball high in the air.
Just middle. 112.2. Hits it where I don't know if I've seen a ball go before. He got the best swing in the league, guys. He's so balanced. He's so on it. He knows what you're going to throw him. He's so just doesn't get out in front of anything. And if you make a mistake in the middle, he's going to make you pay. Every time. So on balance. I mean, he's literally Big Papi, this guy. He is Big Papi. Look at this swing right here. I mean, you just could not be more calm and collected at the plate. That ball is absolutely hammered. And then we have another home run left on left versus Jalen Beeks on a first pitch cutter.
I think the one thing it's missing is the what was it?
I mean,
the Arizona series.
Does it again. Hits it out of sight to right. 110 at 28.
Yordan Alvarez with his
18th home run, 37th RBI.
I think the one thing it's missing is the what was it during the Arizona series?
I just could not be more impressed with him. If they do end up having to trade him, God, he's going to make some teams so much better. He could have like that JD Martinez 2017 impact on the Diamondbacks. Or, I mean, shoot, I don't know. Like, he's that good. He's that special. Doesn't matter, right-handed, left-handed, whoever he's facing. He's that special. Nobody's more ready at the plate. There's no pitcher that has the upper hand on him, really. He's that good. He has just been unbelievable to watch. What's crazy is his squared up percentage is 48th percentile. I mean, how? With all the damage he's doing. It's ridiculous. He's definitely right there. Him and Juan Soto, obviously Judge too, but those two swing wise, Juan Soto, Yordan Alvarez, I know they're a little different, but to me, those guys can cover everything, literally everything. Yordan is finally healthy. His wrist has been hurt the last couple of years. 449 feet. Yordan at Yankee Stadium would be a cheat code. He's a cheat code in every ballpark. And they can't put him at the Yankees because Stanton's still there. That makes sense. But I think a lot of teams are going to be in on him if they do try to trade him, and Houston might be able to really, really ransack somebody's system because his impact is going to be top tier on an offense. I mean, literally top tier. Jacob Latz needs some love. Dude is turning into a primetime closer. All right, you want to do a little Jacob Latz for a second? You know, we don't usually do a lot of relief pitchers, but hey, Jacob Latz, he did give up a run. I'm maybe not going to watch him, but just so you know, he was in a contention for the starting rotation this year with the Rangers, ends up now being their closer. The other day we had our manager meeting with Skip Schumacher in Anaheim, and he was saying that Latz is by far the nastiest guy they have in the pen, and that he goes about it like a starter, so he's got answers to the test, but that the fastball is really played up well out there. 94-mile-an-hour fastball with really good ride on it. Look at that. He's getting 19 inches of ride from the left side, so that's a little bit close to an outlier fastball. And then he's got a nice slider, changeup, and curveball. He's been great so far, 2.16 through 20 games. Did get one start. He's got a .6 whip, thanks to that 5.8% walk rate. So Jacob Latz has been good. I want to give him a little love. Kent State in the house. Jacob Latz. Can't skip Latz Day. Cubs could use Yordan. I mean, every team could use Yordan. Some team, if they do go for Yordan, it's going to be interesting to see what they get out of him. All right, so I just gave Latz a little love. Who else did I have on the list here? I had some prospects on here too. That Mitch made some nice things for me. Mookie, Yordan, Evan Carter from this game was another one to maybe take a peek at. And then there's some more pitchers. Joe Ryan, Schlittler, James Wood had a good game. All right, hold on. Let's revert to Evan Carter. So Evan Carter, when he first came up, looked like a potential super duper star that first year in 23 when they won the World Series. Evan Carter had been, super young. He's still only 23 years old. So you're talking 20 years old at the time, winning the World Series, looking way ready for that pitching. Since then, it's been a real struggle, including this year, and we're at a little bit of a weird spot with this player. So he's 6'2", 190, 23 years old, former second-round pick. You look at the last 3 years, it's been a dramatic drop-off from that first call-up. On the year this year, even with last night, he's at a 643 OPS, hitting .178. The advanced stats, he doesn't chase, so he's got a good ability of chase rate, but the bat speed is 37th percentile, so there's not a lot of power potential in there at the moment with the way he's swinging it. And he's just not doing any damage when he's hitting it. So kind of a weird batted ball profile, slightly below average on swing and miss and K as well. I want to see his bat tracking information here. So it's barely above average bat speed. It's basically an average swing length, so there's nothing really crazy there. .13 degrees open with his stance. Nothing there. He's had virtually a similar stance the whole time. He's widened out a touch. Angles. He's messed around a lot with his swing the last few years, you can see. But when he first came up and he was effective, it was kind of similar to where he's at now, but he was hitting the ball more on a line. Now he's a little bit underneath it without having as much pop as you'd like to see. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's watch him in the game. I know he had a good game yesterday. So he's also in this game for Texas. Evan Carter, 3 for 4. Let's watch his at-bats. All right, first at-bat here versus Alexander. Changeup down, takes it for a strike, and then a four-seam. Pulled on the ground, and Gold Glove guy over there does not make the play. So that was just a little rollover. He gets rewarded, but there's no way he deserved a hit on that. They called that a hit? They called that a hit? They called that a triple. That's embarrassing for the scorekeeper. I know the guy needs a hit, but there is no world in which this isn't an error. That ball played him. That is really bad scorekeeping. All right, next at bat. Carter will always have love in Texas for what he did in our World Series run. Yep. Carter will post consistent, respectable WAR even without hitting a lick. As far as I'm concerned, any hitting ability is just gravy. But don't you guys think he showed a lot of hitting ability that first year in 23? Because to me, it looks like a simple enough swing with an athletic enough body that he should be able to have a speed-power combo. But I didn't realize his bat speed was more middle of the road. I didn't think he was going to be, I didn't realize it was going to be more middle of the road. So here's the first home run.
Here's a 2-2. And that is
changeup down, backspun to right, 101.2, and that's what most of his home runs are going to have to look like. This is a mistake in the zone. Changeup that he gets through and backspins.
Here's a 2-2. And that is
all right, so benefits off of a mistake there. Next at bat versus Alexander. So he's got a triple and a home run. Sinker down. Sinker away, strike, changeup.
Alexander's offering. That is
four seam. I feel like he doesn't get his hands into any type of stretched position
broken bat roller
to really deliver any bat speed. And then he gets jammed with the four seam. slightly steps in, so he takes the inside corner away from himself a little bit. That could be a little bit of an issue. We saw Weatherhold doing that, but a little bit with maybe he should step off the plate a little bit to give himself a little more room on the inside. So he gets out there. Here's AJ Bluebaugh. Scud in the dirt. I thought Carter was the next Trout. People were really on the Evan Carter train in that World Series run, including myself. I mean, you think about it, age, 20 years old, and the performance in the postseason, you know, in the biggest moments, definitely felt like a moment, felt like the beginning of a launching off into something. All right, 3-1 fastball and a predictable count. Ends up getting a ground ball hit on that. That was really just beating the ground. Didn't hit it hard, just good. Honestly, I think it's a bad swing, even though he gets a hit. Again, the inside pitch seems to be beating him a little bit. You guys see how I don't mind striding in, but then I think he doesn't allow himself to cover the inside corner very well. He can't get his hands extended on the inside corner, and he's not as quick as you would want him to be. So that's kind of what I'm seeing a little bit watching Evan Carter. Let's watch him from the side. He never really gets his hands back. You know, you think about Nick Kurtz, or, I mean, obviously these are very different hitters. Even other guys that are quick to the ball, you know, like AJ Ewing's a new one. There's a million guys. I want you to be efficient, yes. But I also think if his hands were back here, as opposed to right there, he'd have a little bit more runway to launch from. He also, even with it being short, the stride is actually, for me, a bit too big. Not only this, so he starts here, strides way out to here. I'd like to see him a little more in here for adjustability. Also able to clear himself a little more to then get his hands down into the low end spot. So yeah, I'm seeing a quiet, simple swing, which in theory I like, but I'm not seeing a lot of stretch with the hands. I don't think the hands get into a great position. I think he cuts himself a little off with his stride, also overstrides a little bit. So those are my swing criticisms of him. Because I'm trying to think, how are you going to tap into that athleticism a little more? Find a way to get more bat speed, but the only way you're going to get that is by starting a little further back. Also maybe come off the plate a little bit to protect from the inside corner. Those are just a couple of things I'm seeing. Not sure if I'm right or not, but off of the one game there, you know, 2 of those hits are kind of lucky hits, right? They're just balls that he beat in the ground that he didn't get through. He didn't beat to the spot, really. So I'm not really sure about that. Bro might as well have been prime Ken Griffey Jr. Yeah, in the postseason. As an O's fan, I'll always remember them not being able to get Evan out, like, ever. Didn't watch Ernie yet. Might get there. Langford's still hurt, although he's in his progression, so he's going to be on his way back. To me, he's their next best player after Seager, so they need Wyatt Langford back. And really, Seager's out too, and that's a big problem with the Rangers. They get those 2 guys clicking, they might have a shot. But other than that, the offense has been pretty rough. Have a couple Evan Carter rookie cards that have since tanked, but that's why we play the long game. AO is speculating here, still dealing with some kind of injury. His head really drops due to the long stride as well, changing his eye levels of pitches incoming. Agree. I think the stride's too much. And that's my opinion. Langford has also been a disappointment, albeit we've seen some good stretches with him, at least in the last 2 years. I believe in Wyatt Langford. I like the combination of like the strength and speed he has, plus having the short arms. So he doesn't have to deal with as much of like getting beat on the inner on the inner third, you know, as much either. All right, so that's it for Evan Carter. We definitely looked through a lot of those guys. Who else we got here on the list? Joe Ryan, Cam Schlittler, James Wood. Speaking of a young hitter that is not struggling, let's go look at James Wood. James Wood, who is on a very good hot streak right now. He's up to 15 home runs on the year. You know, he's the other one with 100th percentile ex-Woba with Yordan. So Baseball Savant says he's the 2nd best hitter in baseball right now. By process, 15 home runs. He also added 9 steals already this year, so he's looking pretty good to be a 30-30 guy. 276, 413, 551 slug. He has an incredible eye at the plate. 88th percentile chase, 97th percentile walk. Hits the ball as hard as anybody, uses the whole field. Him and Kurtz are very comparable players, in my opinion. James Wood and Nick Kurtz. And the Nationals can kind of bang. Who'd they play yesterday? Cleveland. 3-hit day for James Wood. 3 for 4. So let's watch that real quick. Nationals and Cleveland. James Wood, 3 for 4 with a walk. So he strikes out this first at-bat versus Cantillo on a changeup, and then he crushes the rest of this game. Left on left changeup. That's just a good pitch. All right, let's watch his at-bats while he gets all these hits. Cantillo's second at-bat versus Wood. Curveball in for a ball. Four-seam down, strike, and then here's a in-play runs on a changeup. Oh, pull side. Doesn't do a lot of pull side stuff. He's a big-time opposite field guy, but that's what he should be on fastballs because he has the power to do it. And this is just a poorly located changeup that ends up running into his bat with perfect timing, 109.8. This is what happens when you have your energy directed to catching the ball deep with a fastball because you can go deep, but then you can let your bat travel to connect with that changeup mistake. That ball is absolutely hammered off of left on left off Cantillo on a changeup. Mind you, he punched out on that pitch the first at-bat. Second at-bat takes some bridge. All right, next at-bat versus Cody Hewer, who I haven't seen in a long time. Slider down, strike. Nationals are quietly finding some arms. I really like lefty Alvarez, serious starter material. I do think Taboni's going to do a good job with this org. Hell has frozen over. James Wood pulled a baseball. I think he pulls another one in this one too on a breaking ball. Pretty sure. This team kind of rakes. This team kind of rakes. Of course, he's going to be prone for some slumping, Uncle Ted, but I think the upside is so insane, you know, so insane. Nash lead the league in both runs and runs against. A lot of high-scoring games. That's usually a Rockies trick. All right, here we go. 3-2 versus Hewer. Four-seam foul, and then change-up walk. So that's the other big part of his game is the lack of chase. And, you know, he knows how scared the other team is of him, so they pitch him very carefully, and they walk into a lot of walks that way. All right, now Will Dion, who has given me extreme Tim Collins vibes. First pitch curveball, second pitch fastball. Line to center. Will Dion's delivery is almost identical to James Karinchak from the left side, but with the size of Tim Collins. I got to be spot on with that. Look at this delivery. That's the Karinchak move right there. He's just tiny, so I have to compare him to Tim Collins. Tiny lefty. But this move right here, that's Karinchak, right? That is Karinchak every time. As that ball is hammered to center by James Wood. And then the last at-bat, he's going to home run again here against Dion. First pitch, four-seam down, strike. Second pitch, sinker. Oh, maybe he doesn't homer here, but second pitch, sinker, lucky hit. So most of the at-bats he dominated. That was a lucky hit there. But that's the other thing. He's kind of fast. It's unfair to have this much power and then still be kind of fast. Totally unfair. What's his sprint speed? 59th percentile, so it's above average. So he's above average speed and obviously top of the scale bat speed and power. So he's got it all working for him. I know he's not a great defender, pretty dang bad defender, but he's going to end up like a Yordan, Nick Kurtz type of DH, maybe first baseman, who will probably rake all the way till he's like 36 years old. I think he's that good. I really do. You love that they lead him off too. I think it's great. They get him on base a lot, you know. Get him up as many times as you can. I'm on board with that. I've been talking about that a lot. I like Kurtz leading off as well. I've been banging the Judge should lead off drum for years now. It'd be nice if they had like a really great on base guy right in front of him. Like I like Rice Judge. But I understand the Judge leadoff thing. It's just like, I don't know. It's pretty intimidating. So it's an interesting thing. That's starting to make it look like he's ready to drop down side arm, then reroutes for the higher arm slide. Yeah. Surprised the range isn't better considering the speed. He just looks like he's not locked in out there in the outfield. I watched him a lot, just kind of drifting off, looking at dandelions or whatever in left field last year with the Nationals. But it was very telling to me that Gerardo Parra told me that at the plate, he thinks he's Hall of Fame potential. So he told me that 2 years ago when he got called up, and I've been paying attention ever since. And hard to deny it because the physical ability is special. The ability to go to all parts of the field, plus he's laying off pitches pretty incredibly. I love Juan Soto, but in certain lineups, I'd love him leading off. With the Mets right now, they need him to protect somebody. So I put somebody really that's your next best guy in front of him, probably. Ooh, Murakami time. Murakami did have another clutch home run yesterday, so we'll pop over to that real quick. Let's see where Murakami's still sitting on the chart. So he's another one in the same boat, except he's probably not quite as talented in my mind as Kurtz or Wood in terms of like using the whole field and stuff. And his swing's got a little more moving pieces in it than maybe a Kurtz. But anyway, no denying he's been really good, mainly driven by that chase rate. He's got even worse swing and miss problems, but mainly driven by that chase rate and that walk rate. Obviously, we know he can hit bombs. So he had a big bomb yesterday, his 19th to tie the game, I believe. Yeah, late in this game. They ended up dropping it. But what was Murakami's day? 1 for 5 with a big home run. So we'll watch the big home run at least. Twins, White Sox, and it's off of Joe Ryan, who I'm actually not gonna watch in full, but the reaction is all time. Joe Ryan has some all-time pitching reactions. So this is great. Here it is. Murakami off Joe Ryan. Let's watch this whole at bat. Mind you, Joe Ryan was cooking, has a shutout going into the 8th here. And then he gets clipped here for a tie game. So sweeper up top. Pickoff attempt, whatever. Sweeper again. So sweeper. That's a strike. Murakami challenges it and is wrong. So that goes to 1-1. So sweeper. And then sweeper again. And this time Murakami takes the bridge to tie the game. Oh, he made that mistake down in. He ejects the glove in disbelief. 108.4. A lot of good stuff to watch here on this one right here. This is a very exciting. Tarps off. Everything to watch on this clip. So let's run it back real quick. All right, first, it's a hanging sweeper in the middle to Murakami. Kaboom. Let's watch that from the third base angle because this is a beautiful swing. Kaboom. Up, the fans love it. But now, let's watch the Joe Ryan reaction. Ejecto glove, hands on knees. Let's see that again. That's so good. Put it in the Louvre. Hang it in the Louvre. We're taking a screenshot of that. That's beautiful. Joe Ryan ejecto mitt. Oh, I've been there before. This was my life as a starter. Giving up home runs in big spots at the very end of my outing. That was my life. Anyway, after this home run, you can see that this was spurred on, of course, by the tarps off movement, which is sweeping across baseball. Look at these maniacs out here. They're just loving it. Full uproar. But yeah, Murakami, what a monster. What a monster. And this was clutch. He's answered a lot of questions. He's homered off some really good fastballs, a little bit more up in the zone as of late, but also breaking balls. So pretty cool. It's no Theodore Roosevelt, Ted Lilly glove slam, but I still love it. I mean, just the ejecto mitt, it's so good. I love that. It's so good. So good. That was unbelievable. I'm still waiting for the league to make an adjustment on Murakami and start locating on him up in the zone. All right. I agree with you, Mitch. I do want to see that throw by Riku Nushida, but real quick while we're here and we're talking Murakami, let's do a quick look into his heat maps real quick to see if what Mitch is talking about makes the most sense, and I do think it probably does. Yeah, so here's him versus fastballs. That top of the zone is still wide open, Mitch. Still wide open. That's what Mitch has been talking about for a long time. You see that blue area at the top of the zone? He's handling velocity middle down, but yes, they just got to locate that fastball at the top. That's the adjustment Mitch is talking about. Maybe a little easier said than done, considering that he's spitting on everything right above the zone. So you have to be pretty dang accurate here. You can't be too high, you can't be too low, or it's kaboom. But yes, there is a weakness there, similar to Trout. But it's like he's just such a good mistake hitter. It's the opposite with the breaking balls. You better locate that thing down and away. You make a little mistake in, a little mistake up, kaboom. Same type of deal. So you know how you have to pitch them. It's a simple approach, but can you do it? It's a worthwhile question. Okay, Riku Nishida and his laser arm. I know that happened in this game somewhere along the way. Let's see if we can find it. Here it is. 10th inning. Game on the line.
2-2 pitch.
Orlando Arcia, line drive to right. Here he comes.
Nishida. He's gonna come up
Guns to the plate. One hopper. I don't know why they sent homeboy home. He was way out. This is a good throw, but I don't think this is like anything crazy. It's not like a 100-mile-an-hour throw, but a good job attacking this ball, getting rid of it right on line. And you're cooked. And he's thrown out 2 runners in his first 2 games. Very nice. Very nice. So that's pretty cool to see. Did he get any hits? Nishida got 1 hit. He started the rally. Did he start the rally here? Yeah, he started the rally here in the ninth. This is his hit versus Joe Ryan. Oh, it's got that leg kick swing, a little poking to left for Riku Nishida. He's a new player, so very cool to watch him. Now they have 2 Japanese on the White Sox. Anyway, just in case you didn't know, Joe Ryan still pitched a great game. He actually won the Coffee Cups award. 7 2/3, the 2 runs on that 1 swing by Munetaka, 98 pitches. Pretty impressive stuff. All right, back to the solo for a second. Maybe we'll do some quick Jays looking too, because I keep getting asked, it looks like, in here. And then just bad sense, I agree. And then we'll see what else we got here. The baseball world is right when a Japanese right fielder is wearing 51 and gunning dudes down. Yeah. Riku is seen bowing to Murakami after his game-tying home run. Beautiful. Ernie hit a home run over his head versus Sandy, who had a rough game. And then there's some good swings by Jesus Sanchez. All right, those are the last 2 we're watching. We're actually skipping Cam Schlittler today. It's fine. We're bored with his dominance. We're bored with his dominance. All right, let's go over to the Jays. Wait, time out. Who'd the Jays? They played Miami? Yeah, Miami. I know Spencer Miles pitched well too. I'll give him a quick shout out. He's been awesome. He pitches after the opener lately. 4 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Amazing year so far for the rookie. And this, when they run this out here, this thing really has been working. Do I think Miles has what it takes to make it as a starter? Yeah, I mean, yeah, he can go through the lineup pretty good. He's got interest for righties and lefties. So far, I say why not? Okay, from this game, Sandy got demolished. 10 hits, 8 earned. This is a tough team for him to face. This team's going to be able to battle him really well with the way they play, with the way they're swinging it. Also, don't look now, but Springer's on the upswing. He's up to 666 OPS. He's had a good couple games recently. So let's watch these 2 swings. Jesus Sanchez and Ernie Clement. Jays Marlins. All right, first the Clement. Home run above the head. Let's see it. Sinker to Clement. I mean, it's just Ernie. Ernie's so good at hitting bad balls. He's, there's some players in this league. They're just hard to face. You don't know what they're going to do. You throw a bad pitch, it turns out to be what they want. It's almost like he was looking for this type of swing. It just looks so natural.
And he gets on the first pitch here. Drives it to deep.
I mean, there's nothing contorting. There's no contortion whatever out of this. This is just. It looks like he's looking for a fastball up, and then Springer loves it. Let's check out Springer down here. As soon as the ball leaves the bat. Hey. Ernie, man. Ernie just does it. All right. I heard there was a great swing in here by Sanchez for the big home run. The grand slam off Sandy. First pitch, 4-seamer. Oh, that is an elite swing. Elite swing. Up and in on 99, basically, at 108.7. I mentioned it on the stream not that long ago, but if you're a righty pitching to lefties and you own this part of the plate, you usually win. You almost always win. But guess what? Jesus Sanchez doesn't care about what I say. He says, "Kabah!" That pitch was actually even higher than where I put it. How did he pull the hands in so tight? Obviously, he's hunting heater here, and these guys were teammates. in Miami, but that's just an elite swing. Hands tight, beats him to the spot. 99 up and in. Incredible. That ball's hammered. That is a great swing for the grand slam. He had a big day yesterday. Jesus Sanchez, man. Pretty damn good. Also, let's look at all the hit by pitches. We got 3 hit by pitches. Springer from Sandy.
Absolutely. And it's good when you do have that four-seamer.
Sanchez quietly having a really nice year. So there's the first one. Gets George. Here is Jesus getting hit by Sandy as well. Sweeper off the back knee. And these guys know each other. He looked at him. And then Okamoto also got hit by Sandy.
He went up looking for it, and he turned on that thing.
Back elbow. None of them were fastballs, but they all kind of hurt anyway. Change-ups and a breaking ball off the back knee. And then Sosa also. He had 4 guys.
Now Sosa. That hit him.
What's the record for hit by pitches in a game? I bet you that's pretty close. Right? Pretty close. There was a request to watch Uribe's suck it move. Fine. I'll give in. And then I don't know if I have more time, but I was thinking about watching 2 prospects really quick and then shutting it down. So we'll do that. We'll have time. Cardinals, Brewers. Uribe, who I don't know whether he's got, maybe this was a long inning and maybe there was a little chirping and this was how he ends up finishing out his outing in a 6-run lead. Slider, strike 3 looking. And 1, 2, 3 to the Cardinal dugout while they're challenging. I mean, yeah, it's stupid. The baseball gods are watching. You will have to repent for this at some point. You will pay. Looks like Pat Murphy meets him at the top step of the dugout and starts to talk to him right there. Gonna chase him down the dugout right away. Here is the view from the third base side. Oh, dang it. It didn't give us the full video from the third base side. And it's not going to give it to us from the first base side either. What about center field? No, not enough time. We're going to have to settle for our usual broadcast thrusting again. Let's watch it again. Here it comes. He goes with the chest slap and the dice roll, and then 1, 2, 3. He went standard, crossed, standard. Slow motion. 1, 2, 3. I just wish this call would have been overturned. That would have been freaking hilarious if they overturned that. Ay. Abner Uribe. It's going to come for you, bro. It's going to come for you. I'm sorry to tell you. I know you're really good. You're one of the nastiest pitchers in the world. We know. But that's going to come back to get you. At some point, the Cardinals are going to get you, bro. If Yachty was behind the plate, the very next Brewers batter would be wearing one in the ribs. It's not like he's having the most dominant year. He's already cheating fate here a little bit. 4.19 through 21 games. Some people are just gangster like that, or they just don't care like that. But if it were me, I would not be doing that. Pretty soon, people are just going to stop swinging against this dude, and they're going to get some walks. That's unbelievable. The triple, you got to throw the flag on the field right away for the triple thrust. The triple thrust is something special, guys. That's wild. I really wanted to watch it from the other camera. It would have been the best. Imagine if the challenge had gone the other way. I totally feel that way. Sandy's changeup has somehow lost all of its effectiveness. What's up with that? I'll dig in at some point on that. I mean, it's hilarious, even though, I mean, it's obviously like, it's more funny than anything, but this is going to come back and get him at some point. At some point, he's going to get egg on his face for this move, but that thing was pretty funny. Our usual broadcast thrusting. Dude needs Albert Bell in his face. What's better, the Giants 3-man thrust at the end or this triple thrust? I don't know. The whole thing is just, we've come so far. In the old days, Tony La Russa might have ran out on the field and went after him. So I know we're past that time now, but anyway. All right, let's do 2 quick prospects. We have some 2 more guys to add to our draft prospect watching in our synergy. Oh, I got to log back in. That's sad. I don't remember any of my data. Username. Oh. Forgot password. I don't remember my username. Shoot. I need to do a quick internet research on here on my computer for a second. I can't believe I got logged out. Guess we'll have to do this tomorrow. I don't have time to figure this out right now. That sucks. Really wanted to watch some more draft prospects, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out tomorrow, later today, and I'll get myself logged back in. Super weird that I can't remember how to get back in. Maybe my username. Let me try one more time. Username Adam Ottavino. Maybe it's an email. I'm pretty sure I have the password right, so. Oh, yeah, we got back in. Hey now, we're alive. We are alive. That's awkward. It was awkward for a second. Did you watch the Spurs game? Yeah, I mean, I know the Thunder went. I'm so sick of the Thunder. I hope the Knicks wipe the floor with them if they play them. I don't know if they actually will, but that's kind of the way I feel. Here we go. Custom edits. Carson, Coleman, Borthwick, Tyler Bell, Logan Redmond, Eric Becker, and Carson Boleman. So that's what we're going to look at, these 2 guys. Carson Boleman, high school left-handed pitcher, very highly rated. And then Eric Becker, who I believe is a shortstop. So here's Carson Boleman, high school pitcher, left-hander. Compared a lot with Gio Rojas, because he's another top shelf left-handed pitcher, USA, big pedigree, high school guy as well. All right, so I'm already seeing a little bit of similarities with Gage Jump, who we watched earlier, except this is more of a traditional separation. I do think he gets into a little bit of an almost inverted W position for a second, but I'm loving the intent at which he's throwing with. The fastball seems to have some good hop on it, and actually like it so far. There's some good lefties in the draft from high school ranks. Brody Bumila, who we watched. Gio Rojas, who I love. I rated him really high. Carson Boleman is the other one. Who's this guy right here? These are some sliders. That looks like a good slider. Fastball slider combo. 6'1", release height. No, 94, 19 inches. 19-inch vert on the 4-seam. 7 inches horizontal break. 2,300 RPM curveball. -11, -13. Sweeper, -15 and 1. Changeup, 87. 1 and 17. He's got good shape on the changeup. Might be a kick change. Actually, all 4 of those pitches are pretty good. That's a good changeup. This guy looks like he's got more pitch ability than some of the other high school guys I've seen. Also shoving against the Japanese national team in this game. Nice slider. Slider looks tight. I'm liking this guy so far. Looks to be a really good athlete. Really good body type. Good velocity. Throws left-handed. Got some stuff to work with here with Mr. Boleman. Let's look at him from the low home plate angle. This is a great angle, Mitch. No cross body, fairly standard. That's the curveball. That's a nice pitch. Another curveball there. That's a nice pitch. No hump on that. He drops down on the changeup, so that will have to be tightened up at the next level. Okay. I mean, the breaking ball's got some nice shape. I mean, I like him more than some of the college arms we've looked at. I know he's a high school guy, maybe a little more risk here, but I'm liking a lot of what I'm seeing on this initial look. Let's look at them from the side angle. I like the delivery a lot. I got no issues with this delivery. Now, I'm not a huge fan. I'll tell you one thing that I don't love, but for the most part, okay. When he brings the hand down, the backhand, he doesn't start supinating his wrist until very late. And I think that can lend its like this position right here. Don't love that. And I think if all he had to do was just turn his hand over, if his hand is more opened up, if his palm's towards second base, his scap's going to get more involved, and he's going to naturally bring this arm up in a much safer fashion. So I don't love the hand down. But everything else about his delivery I kind of like. I like how the glove hand is working. Maybe he gets a little bit extended early off the back rubber, but I think that can be quieted down and cleaned up. Huge, huge scap load there. Okay, yeah, I don't love the arm action. So I said I didn't have any problem with anything. I'm not in love with his arm action, but I like how fast the center of mass moves down the rubber. I like his glove side. I like his lead leg a lot. I like his intent. I like the shape of his pitches, but I'm a little worried about that early pronation after handbrake. Yeah, that's not my favorite thing. He's spiking the slider or curveball. He might be doing both because if he has a sweeper, a lot of people spike their sweeper too. So that's a possibility. I do have a consulting firm. I have it's called 3 Up 3 Down Advanced Optimization. I have a website and everything, but it's all anonymous. So whoever I'm working with, I'm probably not going to talk about that out loud. But yeah, it's a way for guys to work with me. You know, I'll help them with a lot of the stuff, a lot of the things and stuff. His lower half will be a huge power generator for him. So now that I've seen the hand stroke, I'm definitely higher on Gio Rojas of the two. But I like him over Brody Bumila. He looks like he's much more advanced. Therefore, there's a chance he could be a very, if he makes a few mechanical adjustments and then, gets into the system pretty young, I could see him being a 21 or 22-year-old big leaguer. Honestly, with not that much of a change, but I am a little worried about that arm. I don't like the way that you got to get a weighted ball in his hand a little bit and get him to supinate a little bit earlier with that hand. Show you what I'm talking about here. When you come down, I'll do it from the right side. When you come down, I don't want your hand this way. I want your hand this way. And then that way, you get loaded with your back here. When you're here and you try to come up, you get stress on the front. So I'm looking for that. I'm looking for that a little more with his hand. At least that's one of my preferences. I have a major preference for that when I'm looking at arm actions. So that's Carson Boleman. We'll go ahead and rank him at some point. And then we have Eric Becker from Virginia, shortstop, I believe. Left-handed hitter here. Him and AJ Gracia are the big two prospects from Virginia. So we'll watch Becker hit a little bit here, UVA. It's actually a kid that used to throw at my lab, John Downing, who's at Seton Hall, who just committed to Virginia. Very excited for him getting onto a bigger stage. All right, little two-hand slash to left there. Ooh, very simple swing. Left on left, crush that ball over everything at Notre Dame. That was a nice swing. All he does for his load, it looks like, and we'll see it from the side, is just like he just hovers that front leg a little bit. Center fielder should have had that from Old Dominion. And that's a double. Definitely likes the ball down. I want to see him do some damage on something up and away. Up and away or up and in. I mean, yeah, it's clear he can clean out the bottom of the zone pretty well. He's got a natural loft on his swing from down. It's a simple move, so I like that. I want to see some other pitches. Should Mets draft more from high school or college ranks? I don't think that that's a hard rule. I mean, I think if you believe in your development system, though, you shouldn't shy away from a high school guy. I'll say that. Yeah, I mean, these pitches are just absolute meatballs. I do like his swing, though. Becker will likely go out as a shortstop. I'm not sure that's where he ends up at the major league level. Likely move to second base or third base. Arm is average to allow for more range of the shortstop position. All right, yeah, we're going to watch him field here in a little bit. He's got a very under control swing. So, I mean, I put his swing up there above several guys we've watched. Is he hurt the way he was running there? That was crazy. But I want to see him cover some other pitches. That was kind of up, but didn't look very fast. Slashes that the other way. Virginia Tech had a good year this year, huh? Ooh, left on left versus North Carolina. This pitcher's name is Percival, this last pitcher. Looks comfortable left on left, which is nice. Caden Sorrell is by far the best outfielder in the draft. Well, Mitch, we need a Caden Sorrell mixtape pretty soon so we can see what Uncle Ted's talking about. Pulls the hands in there. I mean, definitely looks the part at the plate. No doubt about it. Simple swing, under control, balanced at the plate. Let's watch the swing from the side angle before we look at the fielding. A little bit of rhythm in there. Doesn't get the hand stretched back as much as I would like a la Evan Carter, but has a little more rhythm with the body at least, and I think he's creating it with a little more rotational pop. He's fairly spread out, but the stride's not very long. So that's different than Evan Carter, who's moving too far forward, lowering his head, messing himself up. Becker here's got, yeah, there he just went toe tap, didn't even move the feet. So I like that. I don't like hitters that overstride. I think that's a weakness. Let's go Hokies. We've had an all right year, right, Henry? Didn't they? I just think they were number 2 seed. I was just looking at in the NCAA yesterday. And then let's look at Eric play some shortstop here. Let's see if we think he's a shortstop or not, based off of a very small sample, almost unfair sample size. But that's what we do. We watch, and we know we can't watch everything. Let's watch him make a few plays, and then after this, we're going to hit the probables. Ooh, a little backhand dive. Nice play there. Okay. Doesn't look like he plays very low to the ground, but that was a nice play. Ooh, good play there. Looks like he's got very good court awareness in general. Plays under control, whether at short or in the batter's box. So that's a mature player. That's what you're going to get with some college guys relative to high school guys, just playing under more control. Looks to be very good going up the middle. Oh, this is Drew Burris. I don't know. He's making all these plays, but it doesn't look super athletic either. Man, very good at snaring balls up the middle, though, to his left. Another one here. Oh, wow. Double play. Crazy double play there. All right, yeah, I mean, I don't have enough of a read on that. He did seem to have pretty good awareness with his accuracy of his arm and stuff like that. But I like the swing. We'll see a little bit on what we think about him, in the field when we get a little more look at that, what we got in the chat, Carl. Big disparity on Boleman and Becker with BA and MLB. BA has Boleman 47, Becker 54. MLB has Boleman 17 and Becker 19. So MLB is high on both of these guys. BA less so. Much more comfortable to his left. Had to really hunt for anything going right. Okay, I get the sense like he might be an above-average runner, but it's not a strength. And arm about average as well. I think that his big thing is, has a slow heartbeat out there. Definitely plays under control. I like the two-hand finish with the swing. Definitely dominates the bottom of the zone. Looks like he can use the whole field, but it looks like it's a very patient, on-time swing. Nothing wrong mechanically, really. Maybe could get a little more stretch going back to create a little more power, but overall it's not horrible. Defense, good going to his left. We don't know about going to a right. Range is probably not his strength. So that's what I think. Draft should be in June. July is far off. Well, they moved it back to the All-Star break for the draft. But the draft combine exists now, and I think your boy is going to be at it talking to prospects and doing the show live from Arizona. So stay tuned for that. He may have to move to left field with the profile if there's juice in the bat, but it's likely second base. All right. Interesting take on Becker there. Okay. Let's hit the probables for today, and that's it. We've been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm sure my wife wants to see me at some point. So we will do the probables for today's games, and then I will see you guys on tomorrow's stream. All right, Marlins, Blue Jays, Yuri Perez, Kevin Gausman. That game starts in less than an hour from Rogers. Skydome. Nationals and Guardians, PJ Poulin and Gavin Williams from Progressive. Cardinals, Brewers, Dustin May, Chad Patrick. Will there be any fireworks based on the Uribe thrusting? Probably not. Mariners, A's, Logan Gilbert, Jeffrey Springs. Diamondbacks, Giants, Michael Soroka, Trevor McDonald, who was asked about in the chat today. He's been pretty good for the Giants. Phillies, Padres, Christopher Sanchez and his scoreless streak. Can he bring it? Can he bring it another game forward? Can he throw another scoreless start to add to his scoreless streak and get him close to something interesting? 40 innings or so. That would be awesome. Walker Buehler going for the Pods. Rays, Orioles, Steven Matz, who's back, versus the Orioles. Angels, Tigers, Soriano and Casey Mize. Cubs, Pirates. Cubs looking to dig out of this losing streak. It's Jamison Tyone, just hit 10 years. Congrats to Jamo and Bubba Chandler, who's still looking to get himself on track. Braves, Red Sox, Bryce Elder, who's been amazing, and Connolly Early. Reds, Mets. Mets need a win. Andrew Abbott goes against Huascar Brazabons. That's probably a bullpen game, or there's some bulk guy coming in after him. Although it won't be Manaea. He just pitched a bunch last night. Twins, White Sox, Connor Prelep, who we've been meaning to check up on, and Davis Martin. Yankees, Royals, Garrett Cole, second start. That's my guy. I love Garrett Cole. That's one of my buddies. Good teammate. Definitely a good teammate. Noah Cameron going for the Royals, who got shellacked by the Yankees the last time, and he's been not very good this year. Burrows and DeGrom, Astros, Rangers. DeGrom looking to get back on track with a good start. And then our final game is a Japanese matchup. Tomoyuki Sugano and Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani still has a sub-1 ERA, so let's see how that one progresses, if he can keep that up versus the Rockies today. All right, great stream today. Much better numbers on the stream today than when I had a guest on. I'm wondering if people even like the guests, but I'm going to try to have more guests on, hopefully mostly active players. That's much more interesting. We're going to try to do most of those on Fridays moving forward. So, very exciting. I thought I first saw The Miz on the ESPN Combine. I immediately knew he was a special arm. Very excited to watch Draft Combine this year. That should be a good opportunity for us. I'm also going to try to go to the Little League Classic in Williamsport and do a show from there as well. So a lot of things in store. Stick with us on the program. We're working on more. More guests, interesting guests, contemporary guests, even people I don't know. So stay tuned on all that. But I'll be back tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. Set your notifications, all that good fun stuff, and I will see you guys mañana. Thanks so much for hanging with me on the stream. Unfortunately, the Knicks don't play for another 8 days or so that kind of stinks. But we'll get there, and really appreciate you guys. Really appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget about the Discord as well if you're in on that. But peace out. I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Adios.